WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Good morning. My name is Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company. Good morning, Anna. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. What a treat to end the year like this. I'm very excited.
For a New Year's Eve to boot, with everything there is to talk about, it is a very news-heavy end of the year. Jimmy Carter's passing is a big deal.
Shocking.
Are you shocked? I mean,
I'm shocked he made it as long as he did, to be honest with you. I thought he was going to die years ago.
He definitely set a hospice record, and whoever that hospice company is right now, their phones ought to be blowing up.
Right.
Look, I'm not going to take anything away. I don't think he was a great president. I don't think most people do. I think what he did after his presidency, do you remember when he was all beat up? You know, the guy built a ton of houses for Habitat for Humanity.
Right.
And he took a fall or something happened, and his face was just had a giant bloody bruise on it, and he had a bandage on his wrist,
right.
and he's hammering away at a house, and people saw this, and they're like, Jimmy, you've done enough. You've made up for your horrible presidency.
Right.
Give it a rest. You've done enough.
Yeah.
But, the Iranian hostage situation did him in for sure. But a lot of people are, whether or not you thought he was a fantastic president or not, he did some things that, that history will regard.
We'll give him some credit for the Camp David Accords. How about that?
Okay. All right.
A little bit of a tribute. Yeah. Thanks for that.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, not so much for the oil crisis and the inflation, but
yes.
Thank you for the Camp David Accords. Peace in the Middle East, kind of.
Right. Kind of. We've had ups and downs there. But if you look at how this little transition here kind of mirrors the Carter-Reagan transition, because Carter had incredible inflation and gas prices were wild, and he had a huge foreign affairs failure with Iran. And immediately, once Reagan was elected, people were like, okay.
The day he was inaugurated.
Yeah. It's like, all right, the fun's over, guys.
Yeah.
And, the jig was up once Reagan was elected. Inflation, energy crisis, crappy foreign policy. That's what Biden will be known for as well.
Right.
And sadly, I think, Carter went out knowing that, hey, maybe I'm not the worst president that ever was in the United States. Right. And that helped him kind of give that sweet release of death. I don't know.
In your estimation, do you think Biden will have a worse legacy than Jimmy Carter?
I think so. I really do.
All right.
You don't agree?
I think I do. I think I do. Again, I wasn't around during the Carter era, so I didn't really get a sense of the vibe of what people thought. But judging from what I've learned, it seems like Biden might take the cake for the worst one ever. Whatever the inverse of GOAT is, would be probably President Biden. Yeah.
He was pretty bad. But I think you're right. I think way too much time has gone. So many people just, after you're no longer the president of the United States, isn't it weird how everybody kind of loves you?
Yeah, everyone hated Bush so much, and now he's like this lovable grandpa who can't get his poncho on the right way without the assistance of Michelle Obama. It is kind of, he's like painting now somewhere in Texas, like painting pictures of immigrants, even though he sent us into multiple, I'm not even kidding, and they're not great actually, but he's like this lovable figure. Especially when Trump came into office, people were like, "We miss Bush." I was like, "What?"
Right.
Yeah,
that whole
it's really strange.
Trump did so much to flip the script. I mean, for liberals to, bestow greatness on Dick Cheney and his daughter Liz Cheney,
so bizarre.
Who the day before they were willing to frog march him into prison in a jumpsuit for war crimes, and the next thing you know, they love the guy.
Yeah, who knew that the Democrats would be cozying up to the neoconservatives?
Yeah,
but,
it is funny.
Yeah, I'm glad things happened the way that they did, the outcome. Very relieved. It's so funny. I was talking to my dad like the day after the election, and you'd think the feeling would be joy and happiness, and both of us felt the same. We were just relieved. Like, it was just like, okay, maybe we won't get into World War III.
Right. And
that was my sense of the feeling, was just absolute relief.
And when it comes to the top stories of 2024, we're going to get to that later. There's plenty of that stuff going around. But you have to agree, and I think corporate media is now starting to agree themselves, that one of the top stories was the lack of reporting. I don't know if you call it that. The lack of reporting on Biden's mental decline. Either they call it the lack of reporting. Oh, we're embarrassed. We got it wrong. What happened? We must have not known. It's not the lack of reporting. It's the lack of journalism. The journalists used to dig that up. If there was a rumor that a sitting president had some type of cognizant decline,
right,
then they would dig in and they would find it, rather than sit back and defend the story that he's perfectly fine. You've heard all of the
just a complete
nonsense.
Omission or outright lying, which seemed to be the case. Like, oh no, he's fine. I think was a Joe Scarborough who's like, he's doing backflips, just not in public.
Here's
he's doing quadratic equations in the West Wing, and no one was buying it. So
I have a montage to remind you.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part
this is the best
about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
We could go on and on. I mean, there's so many examples of it. They went the opposite direction. They supported everything that anyone from the administration said. They laughed at you if you said, "Is there really a mental problem?" Oh, come on, he's the president of the United States. How dare you? I think that is one of the biggest stories, not just this part, but the media's dereliction of duty.
Right.
Journalism as a whole
lost a lot of credibility during this administration. Yeah,
absolutely.
Completely. I mean, does anyone watch that and believe what they're saying? I mean, maybe there's a few. I know I sure don't. And that goes across the board, whether I'm watching, Fox or CBS. I just assume that they're trying to, I'm like, what's your angle? What are you trying to make me believe here? So it sucks, because you wish you could just watch one news source and be kind of told the general truth, but unfortunately you can't. You got to go and investigate yourself, triangulate your sources, and do all that. And at the end of the day, you still don't really know what's going on. So that's kind of how I always leave the door open, is, this is what I think I know, but do I really know the truth? Probably not.
During the Obama administration, there was an incestuous relationship between his administration and America's newsroom. Someone was either married to a news director or divorced from one or dating, whatever. It was bizarre. So now a lot of people say, well, there's just been a lack of journalism. And I don't think that's it. I think that these people simply took orders.
They're a mouthpiece for the administration, right?
Right. And I don't know what the breakdown is. Is it news directors in the legacy media that decided that they were going to, end journalism and just do what they're told? There are a handful of journalists still out there, but this is Joan. What's her name? Jan. Sorry, I was going to call her Joan Crawford. Jan Crawford, who is with CBS News, and I don't know if there's a mea culpa happening here slowly, or they're like, hey, listen, we've learned our lesson now. We really changed a lot. Now you can trust us. We're not going to lie anymore. We're really going to get out there. Plus I have a mortgage and I got to get paid.
Right.
Here's Jan.
One of the things we also do in the year-end correspondence roundtable is dig into what was undercovered or underreported. Jan?
Undercovered, underreported. That would be, to me, Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline that became undeniable in the televised debate.
At the presidential debate with Donald Trump.
Unquestioned. And, it's starting to emerge now that his advisors kind of managed his limitations. It's been reported in the Wall Street Journal for 4 years. And yet he insisted that he could still run for president. We should have much more forcefully questioned whether he was fit for office for another 4 years.
Now he thinks that he could have easily beat Trump, and he should have stayed in.
Yeah, no, he would have been dead. I'm convinced of it. He would not have made it. There's too much stress on the body. So I'm glad things kind of happened exactly the way they did. In retrospect, during the time, it seemed insane. I'm like, oh my God, Were you surprised at the election outcome or no? Or did you kind of think there might be some shenanigans about to go down? You're like, they've pulled things before. I don't know what they're going to try to pull over my head this time, but
I did think that. I was very leery of an accurate outcome.
Same.
And I think that, the fact that it was over that night told me that this is a real outcome.
Okay. Did you stay up deep into the night?
I did. I did. I stayed up deep into the night, and I called it in my own head before they called it. But yeah, I did. Was very weary. I think a lot of Americans were very weary of the outcome of this election, and were many pleased. We should get into that in a bit, because I think the Trump haters online and the people that were like, well, you got what you just wait now, conservatives. You think you got what you wanted? Okay, you did. You just wait. You're going to get it. You'll see soon. All these foreboding, you elected this guy, now it's going to be terrible.
Right.
But, I think
we elected him before and things seemed to be pretty fine. It's like they were fine, but they weren't fine. Everyone was acting like it. And it was like the exact opposite with Biden, where things were not fine and everyone was trying to tell you that they were.
Precisely.
So it's just, we're living in the upside down world.
The question is, and you could let us know how you feel, 855-839-1210 is the number. Will this be a repeat of 2016 or 2017 and the Trump presidency? Has the media learned a lesson? Do they want credibility back? And will they report on Trump fairly in his second go-around in a historic re-election? What are your thoughts?
I think that there's a shift. Didn't what's her name, Micah and Joe Scarborough, didn't they go to Mar-a-Lago and said that they're going to have kind of a more amicable relationship with the president and the media and stuff like that?
Yeah, is that the reason they went down? I don't know.
I think to secure their jobs. I know ratings weren't great after the election, but I also feel like after any election, because there's just so much hype, everyone needs to take a break, myself included. Just kind of take a breather, take a step away from the news. So that might be a part of it. But I do think that there's going to be kind of a reconstruction in terms of how they do things, or at least there should be.
I think a Trump re-election will force them back to honest journalists. Some of them, not all of them, but I think those that want to stay in the game and those who still want to get their $20 million paycheck and those who still want to be relevant in journalism or news are going to have to take a different stance on Trump and at least treat him fairly.
Yes.
More
they can
fair.
Be critical. Vox might be critical. You should be critical of the president, but they might drop like the Hitler talk. That would be cool if they would stop calling him Hitler,
right?
Making allusions to what was it? The
fascism. He's a fascist.
Yeah, the Madison Square Garden, and they were showing the images of like the 1937 Nazi rallies. It was absolutely insane. And really insulting to Eddie. As a Jewish person, I'm like, this is insane that you're comparing one of the most, egregious dictators of all time to a sitting president. For what reason? Because he wrote mean tweets? Like, it seems it's insane.
The real, I think, reveal will be in his first 100 days, how they, because that's the biggest bellwether of a new presidency, how they report the first 100 days, and if they are reporting from a place of journalism or from a place of state-run media, where they can't find a single thing positive in his accomplishments, and it's gonna make or break the media. Look at MSNBC's on the chopping block; they're for sale right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to happen to media, but we're in.
I'm not sure. I mean, independent media is, taking off. You just think about like who's watching CNN and MSNBC versus who's listening to Tucker Carlson and the Daily Wire. It's like it's not even close.
More people will listen to a Rogan podcast or a Tucker interview than ABC, CBS, and NBC's news ratings combined. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who didn't watch the Rogan Trump podcast. It was insane. I appreciated Joe Rogan trying to dress up with his only nice dress shirt. He only has like a black dress shirt. He probably has a few. I watch a lot of UFC, so he's always wearing the same thing, just black slacks and a black top. But he tried to dress it up for President Trump, and I appreciated that.
Do you think the media has learned their lesson?
I think they have to if they want to stay in business. No one's falling for it. Nobody's really listening to them anymore, much like you said. Like, even when you're looking at the nighttime talk show guys, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert,
Right.
compared to Rogan, it's a joke. So they're going to have to kind of modify their ways to kind of win over the trust of the American people, because we're certainly very dubious of them and what they've been up to the last 9 years, actually.
I got a hint right before the election when people started to realize how much independent media and Elon's famous tweet where he said, "You are the media now," and how angry they got when they heard that. And they said, "No, that's BS. You are not the media. The media is hard. What we do is hard work, and not everyone's the media." That's the tipping point, I think, when people start to trust other people rather than some guy in a $5,000 suit, with a $2,000 haircut, making $20 million a year.
Yeah, exactly. He was getting invited to all the White House correspondent parties and all the things, just the DC kind of inner circle. Obviously, they're going to kind of prop up their friends so they can keep getting invited to those things and feel like they are elite and above us peasants. So.
I'm Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company today on 1210 WPHT. When we return, will Carter's death make Trump's inauguration into a secondary media event? Or do you think that, I know a lot of Democrats are banking on the fact that more Americans will mourn Jimmy Carter than they will hail the new president? What do you
Really
think?
grasping for straws. I don't think that's going to happen. No one cares if the flag is half mast. Nobody cares. We're excited that our boy Trump is back in office, and hopefully we can restore some peace to the world.
I think so, too. 855-839-1210. Hang on. I'm Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
1210 WPHT. In for Kayal and Company, I'm Shannon Burke along with Anna Hummel. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning.
Wonderful. I've got another montage. I don't want to get into it, but the way that Biden was treated when it came to his mental acuity and how everybody stood up for him and said the most glorious things about how sharp he is. You heard Mayorkas. You got to worry about going into a meeting with him because he's so sharp and
on his game.
Right. And it reminded me of, do you remember when RBG was getting, people urged her during Obama, maybe she'd resign now. Trump's coming in and she was like, no, I'm sticking this out. I'm in it for the long haul.
I'm good.
And then she started to appear more frail and more frail. And then for a while, they went to her defense like they did Biden. Do you remember the article that his name is Ben Schreckinger, he wrote for Politico, and he went to do RBG's workout.
Oh, I think I recall a video.
He was
at the Y with her or something.
Yeah, she's a 2-time cancer survivor,
right.
Oldest Supreme Court justice,
right.
And this
with
guy
her
was
1 pound dumbbells, just doing the flies.
The 2-pound little white.
Yeah.
And he met with her personal trainer, a guy named Bryant Johnson. A big guy, hulking guy, and he was a district courthouse, helped run the district courthouse, sergeant first class in the Army Reserves, but he moonlights as a physical trainer, and he was working with some other, elderly elected people, and Ben went to go and sit through her workout, and he was just, she was just too much for him.
Right, right.
Like he really...
She's a bodybuilder.
I tried to do the sit-ups that she did, and she was extremely strong for her age and her size, and it was a very ridiculous. An obvious, not just ridiculous, but an obvious lie.
Right. Yeah. Just because you play Eye of the Tiger in the background you're not convincing anybody of her strength.
No.
Viability. Yeah, shame. She died shortly after that, I think.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Well, she was 88. Like, that's what 88-year-olds do. And she had, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Most people aren't getting out of that one, so.
When I was at over the holidays in Texas at my father's house, and he and his wife are liberal, and I opened up his cabinet.
That's an interesting
It is, very liberal. I opened up the cabinet to get a coffee cup to make some coffee, and the very first mug up front was her image on it, and it said Notorious RBG.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, all right, okay, I'll have some coffee.
That's such an interesting dynamic. How did all that happen? Were you raised in a liberal household like I was?
I didn't know, and they weren't political at all. So.
Oh, okay.
We do have a caller, Mike from South Carolina, who lived and grew up during the Carter years. Mike, how are you? Thanks for the call.
Thanks for taking. Now I've got 2 stories. First of all, I'll tell you real quick, talking about Trump, he, when I guess the first time he was running, 2016 into 17, I worked for a eyeglass store, and we had an eyeglass line called Trump Eyewear, and it was his designer eyewear. Anyhow,
Trump's got merch. The man's got merch. You can't deny it. We got a story. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
Conservatives got merch.
Yeah, no, that's when I paid attention. He's got ties. He's got shirts. Oh, yeah. Bibles, everything. So he had these eyeglass frames, and we had them up on the board. We were told immediately by the company to send the frames back. And so we did. And I was not the manager at the time. Otherwise, I'd probably put up more of a stink because I knew right away Trump was going to be the man. He was going to be the president. And But what I wanted to share was
wait.
that
So you're saying that this eyeglass company didn't want to carry the Trump line of frames because Trump might be president, and they didn't want to in any way support him?
Correct.
Wow.
Exactly. They wanted to be politically neutral or to the left. You know, they just didn't want to be. It was a shame, and I was embarrassed, to be frank. And but I suddenly looked in one of the drawers after we sent all the frames back. We did not send the cases back. You know, the eyeglass cases that the frames came in, and they were all leather. Real leather.
They're the finest
embroidered.
cases. Tremendous.
That's pretty good,
Shannon. And they were embroidered, and they were just gorgeous, absolutely like patent leather shoes. I mean, they were gorgeous. Wow. I scarfed them all up. I put them in a shopping bag and took them home that night.
Good for you.
And there were people who, you know, promised me big things, you know, because I gave them a case, you know, from Trump. Or, you know.
You don't still have any of those laying around, do you?
I do, but I went through a divorce, and unfortunately I left them under the sink where I left the house from. So I think I got a couple more left, but that was unfortunate.
I lost a dog that way.
No, the real reason that I originally called in was Carter. Now, I'm 66, so that means I remember Carter as president. And having moved, I was, how do I say this? I was upset with New Jersey because their driving age wasn't until 17. And I had grown up in Chicago, in Wilmington, in Cumberland, Maryland, and all kinds of places. And everybody was 16. It was 16.
Yep.
And as soon as I was
like you're
about
still
to
bitter
turn,
about that.
He's still very bitter about it.
I am.
All these years later.
And you? Oh, I know I'm hiding it well.
I mean, I had the same. I was 18 years old when they changed the drinking age to 21. I'm like, wait a second.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's another story. Don't get me started on that. My mom. But anyhow, I was upset that. So I had to drive myself to ride a bicycle to the shopping plaza, the closest shopping plaza. Now, that was at least a 20-minute ride through a very busy 4-lane highway and everything. And anyhow, I get there, and I think I was shopping, I don't know, for somebody's birthday or something. And I saw the Perfect Clock Radio. Now, this is when clock radios, they weren't LED. They were those little tabs that would drop down. Yes,
right,
the little flat. Yes. And I
still wonder where Carter fits in
cool.
here, but
we're getting there. It's a slow burn.
No, right? This is a slow burn, and so I thought, oh, this is so cool. I want this. So and it was a clock radio, and it had a real wood grain, casing to it. So anyhow. I didn't have enough,
those things
money
weren't cheap
to buy it. It was about $40 at the time.
You can get one now for like $9.
I know, right? Well, that's imitation wood grain,
right?
But this was real walnut, and I wanted that so bad. So I went home, and the next week I came back with the cash in my pocket, and I.
Was Jimmy Carter working behind a counter? Where does the Carter thing work?
No. This was his economy. He was president at the time. This was back in 1975 or so, and 75, 74.
Sure.
And so I finally got back to the store within just 1 week, roughly. And that stupid clock was up $5 more dollars. That was more than I could handle.
Damn that
and it
Carter.
was just that fast. It was just that fast. And it wasn't on sale to start with. And so I never forgave Jimmy Carter for that.
Oh, wow.
I knew that was him.
A lifelong grudge over $5.
That was his
clock.
Yeah, Jimmy Cartonomics.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mike.
That was all.
Well, at least you went on your bicycle. If you were driving, the gas would have killed you too, right? All right. Thank you, Mike.
Bye.
What a story. It's a long.
Yeah, it was riveting.
I hated Carter because the clock radio I wanted had gone up $5. I could recall my parents bemoaning the gas prices, and we were rationing. Remember? Well, you don't remember.
Well.
They had to ration gas where I grew up in Dallas, so you could only get it buy gas on whatever the last digit of your license plate was, odd or even. It was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can get it if it's even, and it was a nightmare.
Not a great time.
No, not a great time at all. So Jimmy Carter is going to Lion State. I don't know if the timing's, I guess Democrats are boasting that Jimmy Carter's death is somehow going to affect Trump's inauguration. Do you?
Like going to overshadow it.
Or
People
we're so
will
sad
forget about this by tomorrow. I think.
Right. I mean, look. I mean, how many people are alive today that really have a fond memory or a memory at all, or were even around during his presidency?
Right, and it's not like, no offense, but it's not like his death is some crazy tragedy. He was 100 years old. I'm convinced he's been dead for a very long. They were like weekend at burning him.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I
don't know
agree.
if you saw that clip of him in a wheelchair outside, and they're like, Jimmy Carter early voted, you can too, and he's just like.
His mouth was. I don't want to disrespect
it.
it.
Already said, and he was super stiff. I was like, he's dead. What are
I don't
you
want to speak
talking about?
ill of the dead, but you're right. He had that wide open, kind of open mouth. Kind of just. And they had him in a ball cap that made him. I don't know. They wheeled him out there.
I will say this though, at his wife's funeral, I think it was last year. That having Biden and Carter next to each other, Biden has never looked better. I was like, Biden's looking pretty spry. You just have the corpse next to him. I'm like, they need to have Jimmy Carter with Biden at all times because in comparison, Biden looked phenomenal. So
right. When we return, I don't know. I think Biden's legacy is trashed. I think he leaves disgraced. I really do. And I don't believe that even Democrats can now. Remember, he was the best president. They're historic, and Karine Jean-Pierre this is historic presidency. Everything he did was historic, and blah 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 blah. How will history remember Joe Biden? 855-839-1210. My name is Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel. We're in for Kayal & Company today on 1210 WPHT. Hang on.
Kayal & Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
These unidentified drones that are flying over New Jersey, they're saying they should declare some kind of a state of emergency.
Here's a marketing idea. I know yesterday was the sales day, so this probably won't be heard for another 6 days. We need to have a Kayal & Company drone watch party.
Oh, boy.
We gather wherever these are. We'll go to Jersey, get mulligans on the line. Yeah. We're all going to sit outside, put the fire pits on. We'll have some drinks, and we'll watch drones.
Johnny Z, are you listening, buddy?
Let's go.
Open up mulligans. Let's do this, buddy.
Start your day with Kayal & Company. Weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Crash-proof consumers enter the new year worry-free because their portfolios are earning double-digit interest returns with none of the downsides of investing in the market.
Roseanne Fitzgerald, Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. Going into 2025 with Crash Proof, we earn 20% interest, which is credited. What we've earned can never be taken away.
Marilyn Becker's, Malvern, Pennsylvania. The 13% and 20% returns we received this year gets added to the principal. There's no fees, and you can sleep at night. You can't get that on Wall Street.
Paul Wirtz. I'm from Philadelphia. I earned 24% this year. No matter what happens in the future this year or next year, I know that my principal is protected, my retirement is secure.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn, January 22nd, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
For a complete
complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
It's Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conklin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. My name is Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel. We're in for Kayal and Company this morning on a New Year's Eve. Whew. Did you ever think you'd be up this early on a New Year's Eve?
No, but very excited to be here. Have a lot more energy than I thought, but I did down 2.5 cups of coffee before we got on here.
Good
so
for you.
I'm ready to go, baby. Let's go.
Let's, by the way, 855-839-1210 if you want to join us. Let's talk with Jim, who's calling from Wilmington. Jim, how are you? Thanks for the call.
Good morning. Hey, that last caller, was that Joe Biden telling the story about Carter?
It felt that way.
Anyway,
it sure did.
I remember the even odd system. My buddy and I, we had the same vehicle, back a Chevy van, and we would go to the beach every weekend, and we would swap our place on, which deck it was. But to Carter's credit, when 3 Mile Island happened, Jimmy Carter was really involved with that and understood the gravity of the situation. Chernobyl came after 3 Mile Island, but we almost, had a Chernobyl event. And that was because, Jimmy went to the Naval Academy and understood nukes, because at that point, by that time, we had nuclear submarines and nuclear aircraft carriers.
He was also, he spent a couple of minutes, 89 seconds, inside a nuclear reactor during a meltdown at a reactor in Ontario, Canada, in 1952.
I haven't heard that one, but
I got facts for days, Jim. Do you know? Do you know about the guinea worm?
No.
I didn't
Don't
think so.
Google image it. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Carter eradicated the guinea worm from the world. That's why you don't know about it. Thanks to Jimmy Carter. Jim, I appreciate the call, man.
He doesn't care.
Happy New Year.
He just cares about the cats.
I get that.
He doesn't care that he saved millions of lives by eradicating the guinea worm, which, by the way, I didn't know what a guinea worm was until yesterday, so thank you for that tidbit of information, Shannon.
It is. I think it's. It's a very important thing to know about him. Not enough people say. He had launched a campaign to globally eradicate the guinea worm disease. And there were an estimated 3.5 million cases of a very painful parasitic condition worldwide. There's no cure for the disease. It's contracted by consuming a larva parasite in unfiltered water that can grow up to 3 feet long inside your body. And there's only 13 cases reported worldwide since then.
Oh, that's great. Good job, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Did you know that he was also the first future president to be born in a hospital?
say that again. The first future president.
The first when he was the president elect. The first president born in a hospital, in a 60 bed hospital in Plains, Georgia. A hospital birth is not unusual today, but beginning of the 20th century, nearly all childbirths took place at home.
Right.
And he was also the first president to be inaugurated by his nickname. His name was James Earl Carter, and he was inaugurated by his name, Jimmy.
Wow. I did not know that.
I don't know. Some people said that's not right. It's not his real name. He's not a legitimate president.
Yeah, they'll just say anything. But that's interesting information.
The other one was Bill Clinton. His name was William. They inaugurated him as Bill. So there you go.
Thanks,
How
Jimmy.
about that?
Said a precedent for
the president.
Yeah.
855-839-1210 is the telephone number. So how do you think, feelings change, like we said, when a president leaves office somewhere down the line. Seeing Michelle Obama with George W. Bush is something you would have never imagined would happen.
Helping him with his poncho, that was just such a hilarious.
And then
moment. You remember that?
Yeah, and he rests his head on her shoulder, like, "Oh, thank you, Michelle Obama."
Yeah.
I don't know what happens. But we see this in the same, when they're running for president. You're a this, you're Kamala calls Joe Biden a racist, and then he asked her to be his VP.
Sure.
Trump
she jokingly said, well, that's politics. It was a debate. That's the response.
Trump said Ted Cruz's wife was ugly, and I think something about his father had something to do with the death of JFK, and then they became best friends once Trump was elected. So
I didn't know he called her ugly. I need to check that out.
Something about her horse face. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I'm curious because we all remember, at least in the very beginning of either a president leaving office or a president passing away, at some point everybody has somewhat of a favorable opinion of that president. You can see it in the Jimmy Carter and all the coverage of Carter. My question is, how will people regard Biden's administration?
I mean, it's hard to tell because we're in the moment. We're in the thick of it right now. But in 10 years, will anyone really care? No, because you're always focused on the problems that you have right now. If you can think about your biggest problem that you had 10 years ago, it probably doesn't play a big role in your life today for most people, say. So I think the same will happen with this. People will just forget. It'll be weird because there'll be a time where Trump is a distant memory. Which is crazy because his name has been in the news for the last decade every day, multiple times a day.
Right.
It's hard to think about it like that, but soon will come the time where we'll be like, oh yeah, I remember the people were so crazy back then. I wish we had those problems back then that we do, instead of what we have today. But
I think Trump's this presidency, many people would agree that will truly be transformative because of the cabinet that he's put together, and the goals that he's set for the nation, and Doge and all these other things that maybe perhaps it'll be a presidency that that
has
people
some real lasting impact. I hope so.
Right, that people say, wow, that really changed America for the better.
Going after the bureaucracy is crazy and necessary, but you just think that the machine churns on, but Trump was really the cog in that system that is breaking everything loose. So it should be interesting to see what happens over the next 4 years.
I'm very curious about what the audience believes about. But I think his legacy, sadly, will not include the fact that the guy got $20-something million filtered through his son and blah blah blah. I mean, he's the first president, I think that I think most people believe has a known secret about enriching himself and his family. I mean, people know it. They don't readily acknowledge it. They always say, "Oh, there's no proof. There's no proof." There's plenty of proof about it.
Sure.
And I think perhaps the two biggest stains on his administration will be Afghanistan, the disastrous exit from Afghanistan.
That was embarrassing.
And
super sad.
Right, super sad. Broadcasts a weak America to all of our enemies, and ushered in Russia, Ukraine, and any day China is going to pop off on Taiwan.
Right.
And I think that and the pardoning of his son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It just reminds me of Dad's gone for the weekend, so I'm going to throw a party. That's kind of the feeling I got. And now it's nice that, Daddy will be back in the house to handle business, and hopefully there won't be any more shenanigans like this worldwide.
855-839-1210. I do think that I'm wondering about the services for Jimmy Carter, and he'll lie in state for a while, and dignitaries will come and talk. Former elected officials, current elected officials will come and speak about it. Is there a chance it overshadows Trump's inauguration? Because the events surrounding Carter are January 4th through the 9th. And then you got 11 days for that to disappear.
Yeah, no way. I mean, if he died maybe the day before the inauguration, but it was almost a month out. We almost made it out of a 30-year period of the flags at half mast. I don't think anybody will care or really remember. I think there's going to be a big celebration about the new administration and what's going to happen over the next 4 years.
But will Trump be inaugurated while flags are all over D.C. or at half staff? Does that have an effect on his inauguration?
I don't think so. I don't think it will. But maybe I don't know what the people think, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference.
I'm sure he'll be respectful of him in his speech and mention him kindly.
He made the comment on Truth Social. He was very, very kind and complimentary of Jimmy Carter and his legacy, whatever that is.
I read a tweet. Somebody said flag protocol requires that all flags be flown at half mast for 30 days after the passing of a president. This means flags will be at half mast for Trump's inauguration. Thank you for your final act of service, President Carter.
Like he was a martyr. Like he waited to die just to stick it to Trump right at the end.
Just right. Half. Yeah, I don't think it's.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, they're just trying to grasp for anything. It's not going to matter at all. I don't think so.
When we return, I want to get to the DOJ attorney that lorded over some 1,570 something Jan 6 cases is stepping down.
Oh, imagine that. Okay.
I can't imagine. Nothing says I believe I did the right thing like leaving before, like you said, the new dad, dad comes to town. I want to talk about the potential, and I hope it's not a potential, for many, many pardons of these Jan 6 people that are still in prison in a hellhole.
Right.
I really believe. I'm sure some of them deserve it. Those that fought cops, things like that nature. Most of them, I don't think will.
There were a few grandmas in there that I don't think caused too much damage.
Oh my God! I hope they're still not in prison. These grandmothers.
Yeah.
And people bemoan the fact that Trump sells Bibles, like the first caller, Bibles, this, that, ties. Conservatives got merch.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it next time. Shannon, Burke, along with Anna Hummel. We're in for Kayal and Company this morning on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Hang on.
Seems everyone has an opinion on where the stock market is going, but where should you be going? Find out with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You want to show that special person in your life how much you care? Then start the new year off with the 5 C's from Cozy Jewelers. I'm talking about color, cut, clarity, carat, and of course, the Cozy Touch. Our diamonds showcase vibrant color, precision cut, unparalleled clarity, and a carat that captures hearts. All of that adds up to an unforgettable gift, and that is the Cozy Touch. So for any special occasion, there is only one place to shop, Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square, or online at cozyjewelers.com.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Get the vehicle that's on your wish list with year-end savings from the Piazza Auto Group. For a limited time, get an incredible 0% APR for up to 72 months available on the all-new Honda Prologue from Piazza Honda in Langhorne, Philadelphia, Pottstown, Reading, and Springfield, or the new 2024 ZDX from Piazza Acura of Ardmore, Reading, or Westchester, also with 0% financing. Contact your local Piazza Honda or Piazza Acura dealer, or you can shop online, Piazza Honda and PiazzaAcura.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
2025 is here, and so is the best deal of the year. Colonial Hyundai is ringing in the new year with 2025 under invoice on any new Hyundai in stock. That's right. Celebrate 2025 by saving $2,025 below invoice. 6 days only. Choose from over 200 vehicles, including new Tucsons, Elantras, Palisades, and Santa Fe's. Plus, Hyundai is offering 0% financing for up to 60 months. Want top dollar for your trade? Colonial Hyundai has been recognized for giving the highest trade values in the region. Colonial will give you $6,500 for your trade, guaranteed, no matter the condition. It's a race against time. This offer ends on New Year's Day, 2025 under invoice on any new Hyundai. Only at Colonial Hyundai. Shop online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the fast, easy, better way to buy a Hyundai. All offers include all rebates and incentives. Offers cannot be combined. Vehicle must be purchased at dealer listed price. Finance through HMF USA and take delivery by 1/2/2025. 0% financing on 2024 Tucson only. Dependent on approval from HMF USA.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. My name is Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company this morning. Thank you for joining us. Two striking similarities between Carter and Biden. Remember when Carter put... You don't remember, sorry. I forget how... I don't really remember it, but I kind of do. He put solar panel water heaters on the White House.
I did read about that. Yeah, I think Reagan took him down as soon as he got in office.
Yeah, that's the first thing he did. Like, those got to go. He said, "Look, I want to harness the power of the sun to enrich our lives as we move from our crippling dependence on foreign oil." Not knowing that we didn't have to be dependent at all, or maybe wanted to live the charade that we really should be dependent on foreign oil. I mean, that's way ahead of its time. In 1979, he did that.
Right.
Way ahead of his time. And he had the most, his judicial appointments were the most racially and gender diverse for the time. So he had that DEI thing going on before DEI was cool.
Yeah. Look at him, trendsetter. He's a trailblazer, Shannon.
If DEI is so great and wonderful, why is it when you call someone a DEI hire, they get all bent out of shape?
I know. I agree. I don't think it's certainly an insult, but it's happening, so it's not good.
855-839-1210. Let's talk to Jim in Pittsburgh. Jim, thanks for holding. How are you?
Good morning. Hey, that fella who called in about President Carter's economy.
Yes, sir.
You know, President Carter, he was a deeply religious man. I think he even taught Sunday school. And
that didn't give him the right to rack up inflation.
Proud, right? I'm sorry, say again?
That doesn't give him the right to rape our economy and cause rapid inflation just because he gave Sunday school lessons.
No, but what I'm saying is that fella who called in, he should be really proud, because who else could boast that they were literally clock blocked by a sitting president of the United States?
Terrific, Jim.
That was a good one, sir.
That was that. You've tried. That was. I'm glad you held for that. Thank you.
All righty. Thanks. You guys have a great New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. You got it in. It was pretty good.
Right. I thought I was a little sophomore guy.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Not bad. I'm glad he took the time to pronounce it so slowly and accurately.
Yeah.
So people give a hard time to Trump. Trump has put his name on everything, from water to steaks to
the shoes, the towers. Yeah,
right. I mean, the guy had his name on everything, and not necessarily that those were his company. He may have licensed his name or whatever.
Sure.
So over the weekend, I'm reading this article about how conservatives are, they're in the knick-knack business, right? Like Trump sells
tchotchkes, as my mom would call it.
Tchotchkes.
Yeah, the tchotchkes, yeah.
You could smell like Donald Trump. He had a cologne. There's a coffee out there that was allegedly developed by Rudy Giuliani, which to me only conjures up the aroma of old Rudy Giuliani's coffee breath on me, so I don't want to think about it. You know what I mean? Giuliani looks like a guy that would have coffee breath no matter what time of the day. You met him, you'd be like,
yeah, he gives those vibes for sure.
It's so diverse that Tucker Carlson now has a nicotine pouch. I didn't even know there were nicotine pouches until he started talking about nicotine pouches. Yeah. And then he's like, this nicotine pouch company is too liberal. I'm going to launch a conservative nicotine pouch company.
Does that mean you're trying to kick the habit or encourage the habit?
I think Tucker really likes
pouch,
nicotine.
Not a patch, so I'm assuming it's
cheek and gum type of deal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mike Huckabee wrote children's books about Trump. Have you seen that? He's like, you want to teach your kid about Trump? Have got an illustrated cartoon book. There are Dr. Oz has a line of pills and supplements, and Kash Patel designs T-shirts and sells T-shirts.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, they're taking capitalism to the extreme. God bless them. They're doing good.
I don't know why people have a problem. I think the Trump Bible maybe a reach.
Yeah, that seems a bit rich. I mean, Trump doesn't really strike me as a religious man, but whatever.
But they say that his sneakers brought him instantly $400,000. Okay. He sold the Bibles. He made about $300,000. They say. He sells watches. Remember the watch? It's like $100,000 watch.
Yeah.
He has do you know you can get a Trump guitar?
No, I didn't know that. I might have to get one from my dad. Or a uke or something.
Trump flip-flops, candles, drinking glasses, doormats. He sells a candle care kit. I don't even know what that is. Corkscrews, a cheese board, a bottle opener, a dog leash, a cigar ashtray, everything from throw pillows to a passport holder.
Okay. That's insane. But, he was a businessman. That's what he did his whole life before he became leader of the free world. So this is what he knows.
Right. That's what I want to – we'll talk about this next. But 855-839-1210. Is it because liberals don't know that there's a market for their stuff? Or is it because no one will buy their stuff?
I think that's what it is, more likely the latter. They're jealous.
Maybe because they've never participated in business or commerce or making money for themselves, so they don't realize it yet.
Yeah, Biden shirts and hats just don't hit. So
he's got there's no slogan. There's no bright. It doesn't work. And we'll get to the DOJ attorney who's just dropped out. He handled 1,576 Jan 6 cases, and whether or not you believe that Trump should start pardoning day one. Are these pardons already written up? Are people going to be getting out of jail from Jan 6 jail hell?
I think so. I think most of them will be. But yeah, he's exiting 4 days before Trump takes office.
Yeah. See ya.
Yeah. Bye. Right. Thanks. Been fun. Appreciate you.
We'll talk about that next. Hang on. 1210 WPHT Talk Radio. We're in for Kayal and Company. Stick around.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Are you looking for a place to call home? Say hello to hassle-free home loans with American Heritage Credit Union. Our team will guide you through every step, from pre-approval with mortgage rates lower than the national average to closing. And with the MyCU Home Connection program through American Heritage, you can unlock exclusive benefits, including a $500 lender credit, cash rewards, and discount when you buy or sell a home. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/home connection to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's time to get focused. Focused on improving the lives of our beloved pets by feeding them the most nutritious pet food on the planet. With 2 decades of experience, the Dogs and Cats Rules stores can guide you in the right direction to meet your pet's needs. Fads come and go, but there's no substitute for premium meat inclusive food for your pets. If you changed your pet's food lately and they're starting to look like a shaggy dog, smelly ears and biting their feet all the time, you need to come into one of our 7 very convenient locations or visit dogsandcatsrule.pet.
Win big this holiday season with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning's win-win deal, offering the best HVAC value on new installs to keep your home warm. Save thousands instantly with no equipment markups, extended 10-year warranty, rebates, and tax credits. Plus, CNC makes budgeting for your new system easy with 0% financing options. Schedule an estimate today with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York certified comfort experts, and start saving today. Visit cc-hvac.com. Offers only for new installations through January 31st.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. My name is Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company this morning on a New Year's Eve. There's only 17 hours left in this year.
How was this year for you overall, if you just kind of think of it like a snapshot of it?
Like if I had to give it a 1 to 10?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I mean, it's been like 3/4 of the way thumbs up.
Okay.
You know, like almost 100%, I think.
All right, cool. Good.
I think, yeah, by and large. I mean, it seemed to get a lot better after November 5th.
Yes, certainly.
I think there was a kind of a everyone kind of took a deep breath and went, okay. Whew,
well, not everyone. No. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed watching the liberal meltdowns. Those were fun.
Me too.
And just as someone who's deeply concerned about health in general, I'm like, this is not good for your body. You guys need to relax immediately.
I agree.
So,
I agree. Yeah, you're right. Irrational. And we'll get to this in a bit, but there are a lot of people that are claiming that Trump is actually disqualified. The 14th Amendment, blah, blah, blah. Insurrection, blah, blah, blah. I had a long back and forth on X with some idiot about, he said, well, if they...
Fun. Internet fighting.
Right. He said he may not have been found guilty of insurrection, but it has been determined that he is an insurrectionist. I'm like, well, I don't know. That's how the law figures about determining things.
Right.
Let's talk to Vince in South Jersey. Vince, how are you? Thanks for holding.
Hey, how you doing? Yo,
good.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year. You're exactly what I wanted to hear from a guy named Vince in South Jersey.
There you go, pal. Originally from South Philly.
All right.
So anyway, we were talking about the Jimmy Carter thing. Well, I lived through it. Okay, I made it through it, and you were talking about entrepreneurism.
Right.
Well, I stood in those lines. Okay, and as a kid growing up, we had to figure out how to get the gas. We got a lot of hoses.
The what?
We were pumping a lot of
the gas.
Hoses.
The gas.
Hoses. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that back? Is this a?
The gas?
I get it.
The tank, odd and even days, you were allowed $5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You were allowed $5 worth of gas if you stood in the line waiting for gas. Okay? By the time you got to the pump, you were out of gas, so you had to figure out how to get the gas. Okay? But the one thing about entrepreneurism that Jimmy Carter, he didn't invent it. They used to have to put that round little spring inside the tanks. And then the gas caps. Well, that one went by the wayside. All right. And another thing about the Jimmy Carter thing. What about Billy Bear?
Oh,
he was a real winner.
Yeah, his brother got arrested for taking a leak on a public building somewhere.
There you go. Yeah, too much beer.
Yeah.
But listen to me. I've been through the Carter. I've been through the Reagan. I've been through, as you know, mostly all of them. All right? Donald Trump, I met him personally. I won't tell you where. He's the greatest guy I've ever met. Nervous wreck I was, because what do you say to the most powerful man in the world? All right? But when we shook hands and we talked, the guy is genuine. Hey, listen, like you said, he's everybody's got an agenda. He's a smart guy, okay? And I believe he's for the people. Okay, and with this Democratic Party, if you want to call it a party, it is a party because they're having a party on our dime. They're giving our money away, the streets, everything that they're giving. We're a third world country, but you go to the other countries, they blow them up and then they fix them up. Okay, you got Vietnam. It was just torched. It was torched and blown out. Okay, and guess what? Who built it up? Now it's a resort. But
wow, we've gone off the rails here. Vince.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I appreciate it. I met Trump as well. I had an interview with him, and then I met him at an event he held. I had a little VIP time with him backstage, and we took a picture, and then my wife stepped up to take a picture. I walked off the little picture set, and he went, "Who?" He gave her the once-over up and down. He went, "Who are you?" And Bill O'Reilly was there. He goes, "That's Shannon Burke's wife." He goes, "Oh, come over here. Let's take a picture. Shannon, come back over here." And we all took a picture together, which is kind of out of the ordinary for him. Yeah, he really is. He's a straight up real dude when you meet him. Not phony at all. You're the man, Vince. Thank you. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. So the thing about buying merch, people say, well, Trump could put his name on anything, and the Trump people that like him will buy it.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I don't wear the red hat around. I have one, I think. I have a Trump Vance T-shirt or two, like little goofy Trump figurines that I put on my desk.
Right.
But it's not like he said, "Hey, I've got a Bible," and I went out and bought the Bible. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he doesn't make a claim, if you buy this Bible, we'll have democracy. And, he doesn't say, like Giuliani says, he's got coffee. And he says, if you support Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to an exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, truth, justice, and American democracy.
Does that mean that just it goes right into his pockets? I don't know.
I don't know either.
How am I supporting democracy by buying some coffee? But
yeah, I don't know how
I'd like to know.
A coffee company will further the tenets of United States political system.
Right.
The movement is not about selling stuff. In Giuliani's case, in his defense, he's got a $148 million judgment against him.
Yeah,
for defaming a couple of Atlanta women.
Some funds, I get it.
Yeah. Maybe hand over the coffee company to him, perhaps. That'll do it. Also, if you're a beer drinker, Jimmy, he was a teetotaler. The guy didn't like, as being a very religious man, he did not drink alcohol. But he's if you like craft beer. He signed H.R. 1337 in 1978, which permitted adults to produce wine and beer for personal and family use, not for sale, without incurring a wine or beer excise tax up to 200 gallons.
Wow. Okay, for personal and family use.
Yes, and that the first generation of small brewery owners were born out of this H.R. 1337.
Okay.
So he wasn't like if you want to say something good about him, that's one good thing. I don't know that he thought it would turn into a giant industry, but
right.
he was never a stooge for his party. You know what I mean? He wasn't a ruthless servant for his party. He didn't just say, "Here's the line." He was, at times I think he was too nice of a guy, too polite.
Yeah, it seems that way. I didn't know that he opened the door for microbreweries, which to me are always, I don't know about where you live, but for me, it's like the first signs of gentrification is when the microbreweries, the hipsters kind of move in, and then you can almost be rest assured 8 years later, the area will be booming. But I always see in kind of like maybe not the best areas, there'll be some white hipsters that come in and open up a microbrewery, and then
run out of the minorities.
Well on its way, not drying off not necessarily, but they bring kind of people back into the communities that maybe where people have left.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not such a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's that's a good thing to remember. I didn't remember it. Is that what led his brother to start brewing Billy Beer, perhaps?
I'm not sure.
Do you remember Billy Beer?
No, I have no idea.
It was called literally Billy Beer because his brother, Billy, became known as a kind of a bumbling alcoholic, drank beer. He lent his, I don't know if he lent his name to it or not, or made any money out of it, but there was a Billy Beer. And up to about a decade ago, I had an empty six-pack of Billy Beer cans I thought would be worth a gazillion dollars, and I found out they're not worth squat.
Dang. If only.
Dang. 855-839-1210 is the telephone number. So you have to believe that either when people look at January 6th, there's two very different opinions of what actually happened. I've got a very liberal little brother to the point I can't mention anything political without his head exploding.
Interesting. It seems like you're the black sheep of the family here. Dan.
I really
right?
am.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he believes that it was, he will say today that was an insurrection and that Trump was trying to take over the government, overthrow the government, and that he wanted to hang Mike Pence. That's really he believes that Trump wanted to kill Mike Pence because Mike wouldn't do what he wanted to in terms of not certifying the election.
Right.
And I feel like if there is a law in the books. I don't have the particular number. You could Google it. It's U.S. Code 15 dot something or other.
Yeah.
But you could charge somebody with it, and it's insurrection. I mean, it's just right there. So if these guys were truly insurrectionists, why wouldn't anyone charge them with insurrection?
Right.
And somehow people believe because they think it was an insurrection, and they've been told by their television that it was an insurrection, that Trump should automatically be disqualified, doesn't matter that he won the popular vote and the Electoral College, the 14th Amendment, blah, blah, blah. But, nothing says that I think I did the right thing by prosecuting people by, when the new guy comes in town, dipping out and saying, see you later.
Right, exactly. And I mean, if they could have hurled that his way, wouldn't they have? I mean, they tried everything else, so.
Absolutely they would have.
Clearly there's no real substance there.
Well, nobody believed that it would pass muster with any judge.
Right.
Which, which is hard to think about these days because pretty much anything else did that had anything to do with Trump. But Matthew Graves, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, will resign from his position on January 16th.
Well, how convenient. See you guys later.
I mean, you're a U.S. attorney, He said serving as the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia has been the honor of a lifetime. I'm deeply thankful, blah, 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 blah. He's for the congresswoman that nominated him or recommended him. Biden nominated him. I don't know why you would.
Farewell tour. Yeah.
Absolutely. So do you have an opinion on whether there should be a blanket Jan 6 pardon, or they should be done one at a time?
I feel like case by case. I don't like doing blanket anything. I don't like painting with broad strokes generally. I probably don't know as much about January 6th as maybe I should in terms of like all the details, but I'm always a case by case person, basis kind of person. Or we should look at each person and what they did. So that's probably my take on it. Do you think it should just be like wiped clean?
No. I think that if you beat on a cop, you've got because you and I are going to be able to beat on a cop and go home that night, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's not going to happen.
No.
But I think that you got grandma in there, who was just probably on a vacation with her knitting circle.
To be there. Yeah.
Said, "Oh, something's going on. Let's go see. What's happening."
Right. I don't think grandma was scaling up the walls or anything like that. So
the Jan 6 committee members. Bernie Thompson. Speaking of blanket pardons, when people started talking about Biden's blanket pardons. For Liz Cheney and for Kensinger and other members and Bernie, the only one that said yes, I'll take one is Bernie,
right?
Because he's like, I am not going down behind this white lady's problems. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking the heat for that. Give me that pardon. I'll take it. And I haven't heard any other talk about blanket pardons since then. You think they're dead in the water? Or we're going to find out like on the 21st.
Yes, we certainly will. I can't believe what's today, the 31st. So we're 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
I think it's a Monday at noon. I feel like
the inauguration.
Yeah. I feel like this is more like a Friday Arvo occasion, not to start off the week, but whatever. The sooner the better, I guess.
It is on a Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, I'm surprised he's not getting heat for that.
Like he had nothing to do with it.
I know, but they would blame him somehow, even though it was just in the books for the last 50 years.
Right.
But who knows?
Well, I don't know. I'm not too weird on dates, but my thoughts are whether or not there will. Remember the last inauguration of Trump in 2017 on the 20th, they practically burned down D.C. Now, it wasn't really covered that heavily, but remember the limousines were on fire, cop cars are getting overturned, windows shattered. Is that going to be the same reaction?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people who didn't vote for Trump back in 2016 have changed their ways. A lot of people have woken up. I know I was one of them. But I am grateful for that beautiful. She was a meme everywhere. That woman, probably of the alphabet soup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that will live in infamy, and that was great. I've seen that everywhere since. That's a meme that will never die. Thank God.
Yeah, it is funny. 855-839-1210 is the telephone number. I am Shannon Burke along with Anna Hummel. We're in for Kayal and Company. When we return, we're going to get to Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz has decided to sue the committee the ethics committee that found all the dirt on him. And do you think that's political? Because he's dropped out, he's gone. Why would they bother to continue to trash him?
I don't know. Maybe to try to preserve whatever reputation he doesn't have. I don't know.
He is going to go to work for John Morgan, I think.
Oh, is he? He would.
I've heard people, because Trump made his Dan Newland, who's another big attorney for the Morgan & Morgan, he made him ambassador to Colombia because he's got a Colombian wife.
Okay.
And I think John Morgan's thinking, look, Dan Newland's got an extremely large forehead. Matt Gaetz has a good forehead.
I see a trend here, yeah.
Right. So he's like, foreheads really sell PI firms. And I got to get a new one, and let's bring on Matt Gaetz. We'll talk about it next. Stick around. I'll talk about it at 12:10 at WPHT.
Hey, it's Nick Kayal, and now is the time to take advantage of year-end savings at your local Piazza Auto Group dealer. Get 0% financing for up to 48 months on select new Hyundai models like the 2025 Tucson or the 2024 Santa Fe from Piazza Hyundai of Westchester and Pottstown, or 0% for up to 36 months on the 2025 Mazda CX-5 and CX-30. Piazza Mazda of Westchester and Reading. Visit Piazza Mazda for details and additional offers before January 2nd online at piazzaautogroup.com.
Def Leppard in concert. The return to Atlantic City. Saturday, June 28th, Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa. Get set to get rocked. Def Leppard. One night only. Tickets on sale now at theborgata.com. Don't miss Def Leppard.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You've been hearing me talk about Rescue Supplements for years. Well, Rescue Natural Supplements has launched a free personalized health survey that prioritizes all of your health goals. Whether you've been taking Rescue products for years or don't know where to start, in just 5 minutes, discover tailored Rescue supplements that will fill the gaps in your nutritional needs. That means no more guessing on products at the store or ignoring these issues altogether. The best part? Right now, you get a whopping 50% off recommended products after completing the survey. To get started, go to res-q.life. Again, that's res-q.life. Or call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Get help from a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. I took the short survey. Let me tell you, I was blown away to see my results, so don't wait. Visit res-q.life and get 50% off recommended products today.
Here's retirement phase expert Phil Cannella with today's report.
If you're in and near retirement and your financial professional is still prescribing a financial prescription known as stocks, bonds, and mutual funds to cure your financial ailments, it's probably time for you to seek out a new financial practitioner. This week's report is on how do you know you have the right advisor as you approach your retirement or when you're in retirement. When you're in the accumulation phase known as your working years, your financial health can tolerate a higher degree of risk in your investment portfolios. You have the time to grow back after economic storms. You have income to cost average because you're still working. Investors who were young and working throughout the dot-com market crash and the 2008 financial crisis likely had the endurance to regain what they had lost with Wall Street. But as you age and transition into the retirement phase of your life, your financial endurance weakens. You have less time to grow back, and you're on a fixed income, which increases your need to safeguard the nest egg you've worked a lifetime for. Accumulation advisors promote risk investments as investors transition into the retirement phase of their life. But these investors no longer have the luxury of time and working income to rebuild their nest egg when the market crashes. Knowing the difference between an accumulation phase advisor and a retirement phase expert can make all the difference in your financial portfolio and your retirement future. By meeting with a retirement phase expert, you can choose the appropriate path to protect your financial future and enjoy peace of mind during those golden years.
To hear more reports that will impact your financial future, join Phil Cannella and Joanne Small this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the Crash Proof Retirement Show, only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Free speech lives here with Kayal and Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Happy New Year. My name is Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel. We're in for Kayal and company this morning on a New Year's Eve. Some 16 hours and 40 minutes left.
Got any plans? Oh,
no. God, no.
Think you'll make it to midnight?
God, no.
Okay.
I doubt it. I really do. I've been traveling a lot lately, and it's and delayed a lot lately. It's like I don't know what the on-time average is right now for American airlines, but it's got to be pathetic.
Yeah.
Killing me.
Yeah. Oh, didn't they run into some problems like on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or something like that where flights were just canceled?
I flew on Christmas Day, and it was the most pleasurable experience of my life. Nobody was there. I strolled right through security. It's like they didn't even care to even really look at me too intensely. Like they were, your bags are fine. Don't worry about it. You look like a nice guy to me. And the plane was not completely full, and it was fantastic.
Right.
And then on the way back,
much on the way back.
No, not at all.
Okay.
About a 5-hour delay. You get it's like I get a text. I'm in the airport, and I get a text that says, your flight has been delayed for 2 hours. I'm like, oh, great. And my wife was in the airport shopping somewhere, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, did you get the text? She goes, yeah, I got the text. I'm like, great. And then literally 10 minutes later, they sent another text and said, well, now it's going to be 4 hours late. Sorry about the problem. Like they knew the whole time.
Right.
But I won't mention the airline, but because they're all the same now, every one of them is going to have a problem.
At least it's not South Korea Air.
Oh, see, I saw that story, and it really tore me up. And the video of it is
it's brutal.
And why would they have a giant concrete wall at the end of a runway?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are asking the same question. Of what I read, it was like an emergency landing, and he was supposed to go in the other direction. So maybe that's it, but also, like, why would you have the wall there at all? So I'm not sure.
And, the Korean people, they're they feel responsible for everything. My wife is Korean American. Her mother was born in Seoul and came to this country after the war there. And you see all the execs for the airline, and they're all bowing, they're so sorry. And they literally are the kind of people that will now, as long as these executives live, will do the laundry of all the victims' families. I'm not literally, but that's how.
Yeah. I didn't know that like Korea guilt could be more extreme than Jewish guilt, because I experience that every moment of my life. Maybe there's a new level to this sort of guilt hierarchy.
You've got a point there. Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible accident.
That, yeah. I thought we were talking about the Jew guilt. Yeah.
Not that my wife has ever been had to apologize to me for anything, but she takes very good care of me. So, former Congressman Matt Gaetz filed a lawsuit against the House Ethics Committee. About the release of he wanted to prevent the public release of the investigation.
Yeah, I saw that. To block the official release.
Right, and I don't see why it's an issue. I mean, that's apparently the reason he won another term in the new Congress, but he knew that if he had taken the seat again, that this would be released instantly. And if he's no longer in Congress, the Ethics Committee has no jurisdiction over him. But there were allegations about him and a tax collector down here in Florida that had some did some cocaine and had sex with underage
sounds like
girls.
A fun guy. I feel like him and Hunter Biden actually would get along fabulously. But I say what you want about those two characters. I feel like they might be fun guys at a party. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you're right. and both of them together, had they never spoke of politics, they would probably have a great time together.
They would probably be best buds.
They say that and I like Matt Gaetz from what I know of him, and he is a congressman here in Florida, up in the Panhandle, and I'm on a station up there in that area, and everyone loves him there. I don't know, maybe not so much now.
Yeah.
But CBS has access to the investigation, and they said that they found that he had paid several women for sex, that he purchased illegal narcotics. One of the women is said to be 17 at the time.
Yeah.
And right, that's not behavior. becoming of a congressman, of a U.S. congressman.
No, but like it isn't, but it kind of is, because
Right.
that's what you expect from the politicians, is they're these like scumbags, and he does kind of look like a cartoonish villain a little bit. But yeah, the guy likes to party. And listen, probably about, when I was in my early 20s, I probably would have wanted to party with him too. It seems like a good time. But yeah, you can't be doing that. People are going to find out about it. You should know better, Matt Gaetz.
Right. And he threatened to go back to Congress, because he did win that seat before they replace him, and take his seat there, and then unveil the names of the congressmen and assumably congresswomen who have been a party to this. Have you heard of this $17 million have been spent by the Congress to settle accusations and claims of sexual assault by sitting members?
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so he's like, all right, go ahead, and I'll take a seat in Congress, and I'll come back, and I'll spill the beans about all of you, which is remarkable that it's still a secret. And I don't know how long it's been going on, but it's still a secret as to who we, as taxpayers, had to settle. We paid that money.
Yep.
And it made it through the Me Too movement, even. That thing is locked. That list is locked down like Epstein's client list, I believe.
Right. Yep.
But obviously, it's going to be highly biased. It was instigated by Kevin McCarthy. He's got a real axe to grind for Gaetz getting him kicked out of speakership. That's what people come to his defense. It's highly irregular. That he's a former congressman, and he's no longer, as a private citizen, subject to their jurisdiction. So now we're just gonna
just
rub your
stick to
face in it.
cameos, Matt Gaetz. That's all.
Is he doing cameos now?
Yeah, he's doing cameo. I think they're like $400.
What?
For like 66. Maybe not 400. They're more expensive than they should be, quite frankly. But yeah, I think he's making a living off that once he had to decline the Attorney General signing by Trump. Yeah. So
was it
now
Attorney
he's doing
General?
cameo.
Yeah. No, it was Secretary of Defense.
Oh,
that
Secretary.
he first,
was it?
Yeah, I think it was Secretary. Yeah. And then, no, or maybe it was AG. It was one or the other.
It was Attorney General.
Maybe it is Attorney General. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, which is odd because he's breaking all the rules, yet he was going to be top lawyer. So it's kind of bizarre.
And he's got a TV gig on OAN now.
Oh, does he?
I hope. I don't know. Maybe this report stymies it, but he had a gig on the OAN network, which I'd love to see, but I can't find it on my dial. It's one of those obscure networks.
Yeah, it sure is.
When we return, I'm going to get to you don't strike me as a resolution person, or maybe you do. I don't know.
No, I'm more of a if you want to make a change, start it right now kind of a person. I don't wait for Jan 1, but it is fun. It's fun to talk about and think about all the changes you're not going to make, but that's okay.
and all the money that every gym in America is going to make, in the next
so
week.
Annoying. Yeah, it's going to be so packed next week. Just stay home. You're going to quit in 2 weeks anyway. Just stay home.
I got to list the top 2025 resolutions of the year. And the final number on how much time that Joe Biden spent not at work in his presidency. 1/4 of his last year, he hasn't worked. I mean, he hadn't been in the White
Been
House.
on vacation, shirtless and on a Delaware beach or something.
Yeah, shirtless and pale and hairy.
Yeah, gross.
Old man Harry, yeah. All right, we'll do it next. 855-839-1210. My name is Shannon Rick, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company. Hang on, we'll be right back.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey guys, it's Jim Costa from Cash the Ticket. If you're planning on betting the NFL playoffs, buckle up. Betting football's hard enough as it is. We're doing the research for you. So listen to Cash the Ticket with Mike Valeni and I. We'll be dropping new episodes for every single playoff game. And that's going to be storylines leading into it, so some good football stuff, but also the betting nuggets you're looking for. Sides, totals, trends, player props, throw those in there too. Pre-game and post-game, we're going to be all over the postseason. Subscribe to Cash the Ticket on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Saving for retirement is one thing. Making your money last? For that, you may need some help. Listen to Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Hey, girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Good morning. My name is Shannon Burke. I'm here with Anna Hummel in for Kayal and Company.
Good to be here.
It's good to be here?
Yeah, good to be here.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Let's stick with that.
Yeah.
Biggest story of the year. What do you think it is for 2024?
Oh, it's got to be Trump winning the election, or maybe getting shot in the face.
I read over the holiday. I'm sitting at my father's house, which can be incredibly boring because he kind of just sits in a chair and reads the same paper all day. But
sure.
Anyway, I read a story where it was kind of a number of journalists that all had their input into it. And Trump's assassination attempt was like 6th on the list.
What?
I'm like,
what was number one?
Number one was Russia and Ukraine. And number 2 was Israel and Hamas. I'm like, okay. Russia and Ukraine's been going on for, almost 3 years. That's not a big story.
In February, it'll be 3 years.
Trump's historic reelection of, a 2-time non-sequential term president was like number 4, higher than someone trying to kill the man.
Right.
I mean, what's happened to our humanity when
it's
that
probably
really...
a liberal paper, right? So maybe they're trying to downplay the impact of
right.
Trump.
I don't know why we constantly feel we need to downplay that Trump was shot at, and had a Democrat been shot at and not killed, it would have been the most egregious thing to ever happen in the history of the country. And and Trump says, he didn't even get hit by a bullet. It was maybe shrapnel. He's only shot in the ear. I mean, there's a photograph of the bullet whizzing by his head.
I know.
And
then it almost happened again.
Right.
and then there, like 6 weeks later or something.
And believe it or not, I always mention my liberal little brother because he's kind of my earmark for the level of liberal weirdness. He insists that it was not an inside job, but that Trump staged it in order to gain sympathy.
Popularity. Oh, interesting.
So Trump staged an event. He didn't mind losing one of his supporters behind him, and he hired just the right assassin to just nick his ear. Just to get the tip of the ear, if you don't mind. It's a beautiful ear.
If only.
The first time since Reagan was shot that there had been a real legitimate attempt on a former president at the time.
Yeah.
and everyone just overlooked it. But think about what would have happened had that assassin been successful.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about. What do you think? Because that did cross everyone's mind. Like, what would have taken its place? And this was before Vance was even on the ticket or anything.
He was supposed
like
to
that.
maybe announce Vance that day. I don't know. We
Yeah.
would have been in a true constitutional crisis, without question.
Yeah, certainly a quagmire. I don't know. Maybe Ron DeSantis. I don't know. I honestly don't know what would have happened. But I'm glad we don't have to know, and hopefully we won't for the next 4 years. But again, you never know. You never know. So
Trump's team has ordered all of his cabinet nominees to get off of social media right now ahead of these confirmation hearings. I think that's a good idea.
yeah, don't bury yourselves.
But Trump won't get off social media.
No, he can't. He can't help himself, which is why he's so fun.
Why he's so fun?
Yeah.
I agree.
Like,
You're right.
Some of when you start reading the tweets of yesteryear, it's hilarious that he was able to pull that off. And apparently, I saw some, I don't know, it was a documentary or something, but I forgot what her name is, but she's by his side all the time with like a laptop, and just she's just constantly throwing out tweets. Say this, say that, say this, say that. Yeah.
I wish I had a guy like that for me.
Yeah,
That'd be
she's like
nice.
a professional tweeter. So.
Yeah, he won't get off of social media. That's fine. He's got a bit of a social media surrogate in Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
And Elon Musk's, I don't even want you on his evolution from every liberal's favorite guy in the world, electric cars and saving money and tunneling and getting rid of traffic and blah, blah, blah. And in an instant, once he bought Twitter, he was, he was Hitler. He bought the election for Trump, so on and so forth. That's just an amazing to me. I saw this weekend for the first time in Texas a Tesla. It was a Cybertruck, and it had a bumper sticker that said, "I bought this before Elon went crazy."
Oh,
like that's the way that liberals are going to, explain away their, how dare you own a Tesla? Yeah, Elon Musk is horrible. He likes Trump. He's a fascist.
It's so crazy because I think Elon Musk said this, and I feel like a lot of us can relate. Where, like, he didn't change. It was the party that shifted, and he stayed the same. But because he stayed the same, and the party moved so far to the left, he looks like he's far to the right, but he's not. He's been in the same spot the whole time.
Right.
So that's kind of how I feel as well.
And the fact that he is a big, free speech absolutist guy is that's what was revealed in his purchase of Twitter, I think, to many liberals. And for some reason, liberals don't like free speech because it's mean and they don't agree with it and they shouldn't be able to. And then everyone went to, what's the other? What's the name of the? No, it's a new liberal thing. It's a. I forget the name.
I wouldn't know it then.
It's a similar. It's allegedly similar to Twitter. I forget the name of it.
Is it Threads or something?
No, damn it! Why can't I think of it right now? Anyway, someone will remind me. And they love it over there, so they say. They go over there because they don't hear anything that they disagree with.
Right, just the echo chamber they've always wanted.
Right, and you could go to it and tweet, there are only two genders, and you're off. You're done. You're finished. You're excised for good. And someone has... That's one thing that baffles me. One of the biggest baffling things of the last, 40 years is that liberals want to remain in an echo chamber. They don't want to get out of it. They know it's bad. They know that they're not challenging any of their ideas. They're not challenging their ideology. They're just immersing themselves further in it. And they ran to this new platform, saying, "Well, I'm done with Twitter." The Rob Reiners and the filmmakers and whomever. But they're back already. Because there's nothing going on over there, and they just kind of sit there and twiddle their thumbs, and
Yeah, and then just to confirm, it's basically just go, "I'm right, right? Yep, you're right. I'm right. We're both right." Yeah,
I thought so.
Yeah, it makes them feel comfortable. Listen, I'm sure you're kind of like me, where you want to hear opposing ideas to kind of challenge your own ideas and make sure that they go to bat against each other, and you're like, "Yep, I'm right. Your idea sucks," but people with bad ideas don't want to hear better ideas because that. They've interlocked their ideas with their identity. So if the ideas are bad, they're bad, and they just can't handle that mentally.
Have you ever watched Morning Joe on MSNBC?
Just the clips on like Fox or New York Post the next day where they're just funny.
It is
or they're
like,
making fun of them, or they're just like, I can't believe this ludicrous statements that they're making.
It is like it's like a comedy, like a sitcom. How in the bag they are for their ideology and how they're anti-Trump, and of course they go to Mar-a-Lago, I don't know, to kiss the ring, whatever you want to call it.
Like a week after the election, it was soon.
They made it sound like we went down there and said, "Listen here, Mister, you better." I don't know what, but you better do something.
Yeah, no way on his turf. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
they
I don't
wanted to
think so
kiss the
either.
ring and say, "Listen, we're sorry. We'll act better next time. Please don't, get us out of a job. We still need to be employed. We need to go to our fancy parties on the fine china plates. Please don't mess with our income."
I think a lot of people are going to lose their. Although I saw where Stephanopoulos re-signed after he got angry that they settled with Trump for $15 million because he kept calling him a rapist over and over, which he wasn't. And his executive producer, right before that day and that segment where he accused him of being a rapist, said, "Listen, you can talk about this with Nancy Mace. Don't say rape, okay? Just don't say rape." He couldn't wait to say the word rape.
Yeah, couldn't help himself.
They can't.
You get yourself into trouble like that.
You're right. They can't help themselves. There is a. I see how this is one of the biggest stories I think of the year.
Okay.
Snuck right in at the end of the year is the United Health CEO being assassinated in the streets of New York City.
Oh, I was really gripped by that story. Still kind of am.
I am too.
Yeah.
And apparently the folks, the current CEO.
Yeah.
Kind of an interim CEO is quietly letting everyone know we made a lot of money.
We're doing great.
Yeah, we hit our financial records.
Yeah.
They will hit records, and nobody should be shot and killed like an animal in the streets.
No.
Shot in the back, by the way, which is cowardly.
Sure.
But it has opened a lot of people's eyes, like they weren't already open for many, about the problems we have in our healthcare system in this country.
Yeah.
But the CEO currently is just telling the executives there that they will see records by the end of the year, record earnings.
Mm-hmm.
He says
it was like $270 billion or something like that.
277. It's going to be $299 billion. Wait. It's going to end up $277 billion. It was $277 billion last year. $299 billion this year.
Oh, good work, guys.
Yeah, he said the interim
Keep
CEO
denying and claims.
The environment we find ourselves in is a complex one, not one that was ever designed for anybody.
Yeah.
The more money.
Yeah, it is strange. I've never seen a cold-blooded killer who, in the eyes of the public, is now the victim.
Yes. Celebrated. They love this guy.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. And here's the thing, maybe hot take, but I really don't think it's women pushing this, get him off, scot-free agenda. It's gay men who are obsessed
really?
with Luigi Mangione. All the things that I've seen. I mean, there's a few women here and there, but it's mostly these gay men are obsessed with this guy.
You know what it is?
They cannot get enough of him.
It's that
and
one
his
shirtless.
great smile and six ab physique.
Yes, it was the shirtless pic of him in Hawaii that did it. That did it. But, an interesting year, without question. I'll get to the resolutions. You can guess what they are, but you know what? Only 30% of Americans will make one, and the older you are, the less likely you are to make one.
Yeah, what's number one? Like lose weight?
Of course.
It always is, and it's getting easier these days with help of Ozempic, Wegovy, all the semaglutides.
Yeah. No one makes resolutions like, I want to do this, or I want to better my, spirituality, or, it's the number one is always lose some weight.
Listen, we're a vain society. I can't say that I'm not either, but it's just it seems like we never do. We're actually getting fatter, so it seems not to be working, but
no, it's
I don't know. Yeah.
Your belief in these resolutions, and what is in your opinion, the top story of 2024? I think it's got to be, in my opinion, number one is the assassination attempt of former President Trump. Number two is the re-election, a historic re-election of a non-sequential term, two-time president, and the rest is really, meaningless to me.
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to think about like the first quarter of the year and what happened. Maybe the eclipse. That was pretty big news for a hot
you get
second,
those all
right?
the time.
Yeah, I guess so. I just remember it being a big deal. But yeah, it was certainly surrounding the election and then the assassination attempt.
855-839-1210. Let us know what your resolution is. Fatty, hang on.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Is quality high-end furniture on your holiday shopping list? Don't miss the Christmas sale at Bucks County Estate Traders. Enjoy shopping well-crafted, stunning pieces that will elevate any room in your home. Save thousands of dollars on items from top manufacturers, all available for pickup right now. Each of the over 16,000 pieces includes its own QR code that puts its information at your fingertips. And their team of knowledgeable professionals provides a relaxed and rewarding experience. Hurry in and save. Visit BucksCountyEstateTraders.com or their showroom in Hatfield.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk premium. These are top-of-the-line appliances that dream kitchens are made of. If you're planning an investment like this in your home, where you buy is as important as what you buy. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're committed to delivering the superior buying experience you deserve. Our showroom features beautifully displayed premium appliances of every major brand, including highly sought-after Sub-Zero, Wolf & Cove. Our team of gurus is well-versed at guiding you as you navigate the same appliances you'd find in the most magnificent homes and kitchens of cooking enthusiasts. And the National Appliance Warehouse team has the expertise to properly deliver and install your stunning new appliances.
It's the season of savings at National Appliance Warehouse. Purchase a qualifying Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove appliance package and choose 3 years of additional warranty or rebate up to $2,500. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. I'm Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel in for Kayal and Company this New Year's Eve. Blue Sky. Thank you. That was the platform I was thinking of. Blue Sky.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
Isn't it wild?
It clearly didn't land if the liberals are flocking away from it. So,
I might be the only one here, maybe not, but I kind of feel like this entire presidency of Biden was kind of an illusion. Not an illusion. I mean, we saw it happen,
right?
But is there anybody within earshot that thinks that he actually called the shots throughout his presidency?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I don't think so. I'd like to know who was in charge for the last 4 years, because I don't think it was Biden. Yeah.
He spent nearly a quarter of his final year, 24% either in Delaware or at Camp David or in various vacation spots like St. Croix, recently Nantucket, California. He is currently in St. Croix. The White House hasn't even released the end date of his trip.
Huh. He loves the vacation. He's an old man. He should be playing bingo in Boca Raton. Like, he shouldn't be the president. And I do you remember, when was it? I think it was the debate, the June 27th debate, where everyone started coming after Jill Biden for elder abuse.
Right.
Like, this woman is dragging this man around like a pony show. Clearly, he needs to be put out to pasture.
Her Vanity Fair interview that she did, where she talked about how wonderful it was to be in the motorcade, and how she loved the fact that she could ride through a city and be in this 40-car motorcade, and they would shut down every on-ramp and hold back all the traffic so she, an important woman, could get through. And then when she arrived at a destination, how wonderful it was to be escorted into the back door and not have to stand in any lines. I mean, she loved it, and I think she's probably the one that gave him the push to, he was supposed to be a transitional guy, and she's like, "Come on, honey, this motorcade deal, it's too
good." Yeah, I'm sure that lifestyle is pretty intoxicating.
Yeah.
So I get it, but also like not for for the country,
Right.
She didn't care about the American people. She was more concerned about the private escort into wherever she was going.
In the month of August of this year, he spent 21 days away from the White House, visiting Delaware for 14, 6 days at a residence in Santa Ynez, California, a couple of days at Camp David, and throughout the entire year, he took 27 trips to Delaware. And I would imagine a lot of that is, let's figure out what we're going to do with the Hunter thing, and what furniture we're going to steal from the White House.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I hope that doesn't set a standard for what we expect out of a lot of people working remote these days. And I guess in all fairness, when you're the president, you may not be doing presidential stuff the whole time, but if someone needs you, like, hey,
available.
We may have a nuclear football issue here, or some there's some war stuff going on. We want to let you know about. They're not going to wait till he comes back from Delaware. They're going to do it. Call the bat phone or whatever.
Yeah. Certainly too many beach days. That wasn't a good look. But also, like, he wasn't running the country anyways, so enjoy yourself, I guess.
The image of him in some trunks, shirtless, on a beach, we're sitting there. It was the furthest from presidential, I think, of any president.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look. I always wanted them to like zoom out so I could see like all the secret security around them, because they make it look like it's kind of like this normal situation where it's totally not.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. But you can notice in a lot of the footage that people walk by clueless as to what's going on. Like there's a sitting president of the United States.
Yeah, I feel like those people were staged. Like, obviously, secret security has to know who's coming in and out, who's getting close. I feel like they weren't just random strangers walking by. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Staged.
To make it look like he's just like a man of the people at a public beach with everybody else. It's like, no way.
He's just hanging out. And people, hey, there's Joe. Hey, Joe, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the case at all. But I do think that it was all an illusion, that he was in control and he was powerful and he was making great choices for the country and everyone loves him and he's the most historic, blah, blah, blah. I think
I think it's pretty obvious that was not the case.
And the fact that he thinks he could have beat Trump simply because Trump beat Hillary and Trump beat Kamala and he's the only one that has beaten Trump allegedly.
Yeah, well, I mean, you probably won't hear me say this too often, but in his defense, he has dementia. So like when people are like, I can't believe he said that, I'm like, I can. I had a grandma with Alzheimer's, and let me just tell you, she said some pretty off-the-wall things. So the fact that he thought he could have beaten Trump, it doesn't surprise me, because he has dementia.
Yeah.
And maybe Alzheimer's. I know he was confirmed to have Parkinson's. So
they didn't use they didn't use that as an excuse that he lost to Trump. Like, okay, he might have lost, but he's got dementia. Come on,
Exactly.
give the guy a break.
Yeah.
All right, when we return, the Supreme Court may have the opportunity to overturn yet another legal attack on Trump from the lawfare. I'll give you the details next on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Hang on.
Kayal and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Luigi's not getting any Swedish fish in the joint. Luigi has for breakfast a choice of fruits, grits, bread, eggs, and coffee.
We have to remember, as these dummies on News Nation are like, hi, everybody, there's a person dead. It's, again, this idol worship. Do you guys see him? Is he watching? Like, they're giddy schoolgirls. Ugh.
Goes back to the big take this morning, the violence of the left, the irrelevance of the media.
Start your day with Kayal and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
It's Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
Alan Iverson, Joel and Bean.
My dad set this up. This was actually a Christmas gift to bring us all together, come see Joe, and relive all the Philadelphia history. It's amazing.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conklin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Homeowners, improve your family's comfort with a Bradford White water heater and enjoy all the hot water your household needs. All day, every day. With Bradford White, you get more than just a water heater. You get our commitment to quality and reliability that you can trust. How you heat your water matters, so don't compromise when it comes to your home or your hot water. Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best because your home deserves it. Visit BradfordWhite.com to learn more and find an installation pro near you.
Hey, Joe DeCamry here. You know, when you're making your New Year's resolutions, be sure to think about your car and your wallet, and then head on over to United Tire and Service. Taking care of your car and saving money is a resolution you can actually keep thanks to United Tire. From new tires to full inspections, oil changes, and more, United Tire and Service will keep your car in shape without breaking the bank. Stop by your locally owned United Tire and Service or go to UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
What's better than bacon? Bacon on everything, of course. Add Hatfield bacon to every meal, from breakfast to dinner, for the perfect sizzling taste your family will love. With flavors like hardwood smoked, applewood smoked, maple brown sugar, and cuts from classic to extra thick, there's a Hatfield bacon for every recipe. Get inspired at simplyhatfield.com and discover new ways to enjoy your favorite bacon. Hatfield bacon. Find your flavor with Hatfield and put pork on your fork.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? That's how thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage. Brand new look, same great product.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Make sure your child or grandchild has all the tools they need to succeed this school year. Call Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown, 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them right now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, student teachers teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, bipolar. Don't wait. Prepare your student now. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for that no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today, 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today, 800-300-0003.
Drive in with Kayal and Company mornings 6 till 10. Drive home with Rich Zioli afternoons 3 till 7. Live and local on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. My name is Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel.
Hello.
In for Kayal and Company. New Year's Eve today. I see, after all the crying and moaning about the Dodd decision in overturning Roe v. Wade, and oh my God, women can't get an abortion, how will they make it through their life, blah, blah, blah. Abortions in the United States are actually up.
I know.
That's...
California and New York are really bringing up the national average, I guess.
I guess. It's kind of that is an odd picture. They're more common now, despite the bans in red states, and still they're fighting for more. I mean, why are you fighting for? It would appear the numbers speak for themselves, right?
Right. Is it just to stick it to the man, which seems like an odd hill to die on, or for your baby to die on? But
to just go out and have an abortion on get pregnant?
Yeah, I'm gonna get pregnant on purpose just so I can have an abortion. Yeah, it seems like a strange goal to have, but people are crazy these days, so who knows?
Right. I mean, the Dobbs thing happened in July of 2022. And abortions went from 80,000 a year to, 95? Oh, sorry, 102,590 a year.
Maybe inflation is so bad that people can't afford them because of Biden. So who knows? I don't know. I mean,
they're up. I don't know if that who's paying for them, but and most of them are done a pill versus procedure. Pills are 63%, procedures are 37%. But yeah, it's a tough. It becomes you're right, a tough hill to die on when your numbers are up and you're breaking records in terms of abortions. Not a good look.
Yeah, that is bizarre, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. I think people really misunderstood what the whole overturning of Roe v. Wade was. They just thought that that no one could get an abortion anywhere. It's like, all right, relax. And people that were freaking out the most were in states where you can, kill a baby the day before it's due. So I didn't understand. I mean, I'm joking, obviously, but like where you had the most liberty to do that with your body. So it seemed to be odd that those were the ones that were freaking out the most. But
yeah, it's an amazing. You don't hear people really arguing about it much, and I think that's why Kamala's women's rights angle was kind of a flop. Because people maybe they made sense that there's an issue, but in reality there really wasn't an issue with people, women getting whatever they want to call health care.
Yeah, they were really just trying to scare people. I remember there was I can't remember exactly maybe it was the DNC. I don't know. Michelle Obama went into this tirade where she just, she scared me into the most horrific scene ever. Like, imagine your wife is bleeding out on a table and the doctor won't touch her because they right. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, that is all that they had left in their pockets to pull, is to try to scare the American public into, they're trying to take over your bodies, and this is a vote for Kamala is a vote for, reproductive freedom and women's health. Yeah, you're right. It became like a health procedure, which sometimes it is, sure, but not always.
Not all the times.
Yeah.
I don't think. And to say, women are dying in the streets, or, this is going to kill women everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a tough, the numbers just don't add up,
Yeah, no one was buying it, clearly. People went to the polls and they spoke with their vote, so.
You're kind of into health thing, right?
Yeah, I'm big into health. Yeah, to the point where it's like, I even annoy myself. I'm like, I wouldn't want to be around me. So I've really dialed it back in terms of, who I speak to about it. But if I hear anybody, in my ether talking about anything health related, I always insert myself in the conversation because I get so excited.
Through the holidays, have you been, are you being cognitive about, the food you're eating?
Oh, yeah, no. I've kind of gone off the rails. I was lamenting yesterday that I am fully addicted to sugar, and it's a hard habit to break. But no, I fully enjoy the holidays. Absolutely. You got to live a little bit. And I love to judge other people. I'll watch 600 Pound Life, but I myself will be eating cookies and ice cream. Oh, look at these fatsos. Get it together as I'm eating ice cream out of the carton. So
I think the average American gained 6 to 8 pounds over the holiday alone. That's a lot.
The problem is they don't lose it afterwards.
Right.
It just kind of accumulates throughout the year. I have lots of friends like that still haven't lost their weight from the last holiday season. So, yeah. You got to get back in the gym Jan 1, but you'll be out by Jan 14. So, I see it every year, every time at the gym. It's so annoying, especially to people who go to the gym regularly. You're just you're not going to be here in 3 weeks. Just leave.
The amount of the alarming levels of obesity in this nation should be a wake-up call for many people. And we've gone from, the 80s and 90s was all about me. They're jogging, they're running, and people are getting into health, to now where you have entire college classes that are about accepting fat people and learning to love your fat body and fighting for your right to sit in a big chair on an airplane and blah, 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 blah. It's amazing. And I think of that, lately, body positivity and fat rights and all these things. And I think, what year is it, that we've taken almost a 180 on what's acceptable and normal for a normal sized human being, and we're fighting against our own health, it seems.
Yeah, it is bizarre. But I feel like this is horrible to say, but fat people are kind of like the last bastion of people you can openly make fun of without being canceled. So that's why I really want them to stick around, because that's all I got left. Because you talk about any other group of people and you lose your job, but you can still kind of make fun of the fatties. They might bark about it a little bit, but, they ain't going to run after you.
We've turned it into, you shouldn't... you don't focus on your size. Don't worry about that. That it's no big deal. But you don't hear people saying, "Hey, don't worry about smoking a pack of cigarettes every day." Be a proud smoker and have lung positivity or whatever you want to call it.
Right. Yeah.
Who smokes cigarettes? I know a lot of people that do personally, but not a lot of people around me.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody?
I don't know anybody that smokes cigarettes anymore. It is to me, and I'm sure I'll offend some people, but to me, it is a disgusting habit. It is a gross habit. I would much prefer someone in my vicinity to have a problem with pills or even cocaine. I'm not even kidding, because they don't smell. You know what I mean? You walk into a cloud of cigarette smoke and it sticks to you. Yeah. Even marijuana, which I'm not jazzed about like everybody else is, at least that doesn't stick to you quite the same way that a cigarette does. I don't know. I tried smoking cigarettes one time in my life just to try it on for fits. This is maybe 15 years ago. I'm like, this is disgusting. How do people like this? There has to be a period where it's really gross AF, and then all of a sudden you get addicted.
You always hear people say, "Yeah, I've been smoke free for a year, or I've been best thing I've ever done for my health." I've never in my life ever heard someone come into the room and go, "Hey, guess what? I started smoking today. It's really pretty good.
Congratulations.
You ought to give it a shot."
Yeah. No.
We all know that it's not good for you. We probably all know somebody who has had an ailment from it, or a COPD or something like that. Now, for 2025, there's a fresh assessment of how dangerous they are and how they shorten your life expectancy. And researchers at University College of London have found that on average, one ciggy poo takes 20 minutes off your life.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So a pack could shorten your life by 7 hours, almost 7 hours.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some people that have been smoking since they were, 13 or something, and they're well into their 70s. But you know what is crazy, though? These are always the people that live the longest. They're like, "What's your secret?" They're like, "I drink a shot of whiskey a day and smoke a pack." And they live to like 94, and you're like, how did this happen?
Right.
What's going on? But for most mere mortals, it's not good for your health, so don't do it.
10 cigarettes a day. If you quit on the 1st of January, you'll I don't know if you'll gain a day in your life, but you'll prevent the loss of a day in your life by the 8th of January.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, more reason to quit. You said you don't know anybody in your vicinity that smokes, or anybody in your circle.
Well, when I was back in Texas with family over the holidays, I have a sister who smokes, can't give it up. Meanwhile, we lost our mother to lung cancer. Our dad has COPD, and she's out there puffing away. She just doesn't really seem to care.
Yeah.
20 minutes. I heard. I don't know how long ago it was, but they said the average was, it takes a minute off your life. At that point, you're like, screw it, I'll just have, but because
you don't.
Yeah, and then you start thinking, what's a shot of whiskey take off my life? What does a Pop-Tart take off my my life?
Yeah, nothing's good. It just feels like they're trying to take away all of the joys in life, all the things that are, bad for you are the things that are the most fun. But cigarettes, I just never got. It was also just the way I was raised. Like, they're like, my parents both told me that was just disgusting and gross, and they weren't wrong, at least in my estimation. It's just so crazy how people started smoking. I'm like, isn't this gross for you? And then all of a sudden, like, you're addicted. But there has to be a period where it is gross and you're forcing yourself to do it to look cool. But it was funny. I was actually watching like an episode of Sex and the City, and they're all smoking, and it was like super cool and sexy. And now it's not at all. Now everyone's vaping, which I don't think it looks cooler than cigarette smoking, but it's maybe less bad for your health.
There's so many, like Tucker Carlson's new nicotine pouch. If you need nicotine, there are other ways to get it where you don't have to mess your lungs up and stink
up a room. That's my main issue is the secondhand effect of it. Is I don't really care about you, but if I have to smell your cigarette smoke, that makes me mad.
Oh, like you're in a smoky bar and you go home and you smell like a cigarette?
Yeah, or even if, usually it's not in bars, but as soon as you walk out of one and they're right by the entrance and you have to walk through it and it gets on my Jufro and I have to wash the hair again because it's just...
What did you refer to your hairdo as?
A Jufro? Yeah, it's a little crazy.
In the coming days, maybe today, Donald Trump's team intends to appeal that ruling against the $5 million verdict in the sexual assault case by E. Jean Carroll. Their lawyers say the American people have reelected President Trump in an overwhelming mandate. They demand an immediate end to political weaponization of our justice system and swift dismissal of all the witch hunts, including the Democrat-funded E. Jean Carroll hoax, which will continue to be appealed. They look forward to... They said we look forward to uniting our country and a new administration as Trump makes America great again. A 3-judge panel of the Second Circuit Court denied his request for a new trial, but the court rejected his claim that a judge should not have allowed evidence like the Access Hollywood tape suggesting Trump may have committed other, we said he grabs him by the, on review for abuse of discretion, they say we conclude that Mr. Trump has not demonstrated his district court erred in any of the challenge rulings. I don't see this, because didn't it balloon? I forget what it is now, $90 million or $83.3 million for defamation.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, and that basically was born of, she said, Donald Trump sexually assaulted me. And Donald Trump said, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, now you've defamed her. Stephanopoulos.
Wasn't there a $5 million settlement at some point?
Yes.
At that? Do you remember, oh my God, this was one of my favorite interviews ever, where she was like coming on to Anderson Cooper.
Oh,
do you remember this?
Yeah, I do.
He was just like, some people think rape's a fantasy. And he was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that was bizarre.
They're like, we got to cut to break. She was like closing in on him. She's like, what did she call him? You're very intriguing. It was something really uncomfortable. And then he went right to break. And yeah, it was probably one of my favorite interviews of all time.
Then she's talking with, I forget, someone at MSNBC about how she's going to spend her $80 million. She's going to take everybody on a trip and blah, blah, blah. But without question, you have to agree that was lawfare. They opened up, they removed for a short period of time the statute of limitations for sexual assault claims. So it was a free-for-all. They did it specifically for Trump. In my opinion, that should be evidence enough for an appeal.
Right.
because it got Trump, and it unwittingly ensnared a New York councilman into a Democrat into an old sexual assault case that he wasn't very happy about.
No.
But and then I think the Jack Smith stuff has gone away. It looks like Fonnie Willis's Georgia case is blown up. She's really turned out to be a real tart. And I would say probably that Letitia James' case and the Alvin Bragg case will probably go away as well.
Yeah, it's all like it's clearing up like a bad case of acne. It's all going away. So.
Right. And I love if people go, I can't believe you voted for a 34, a felon. We have a felon in the White House because of you, because you voted for him. And I'm like, well, most of us realized that there was a bunch of BS.
Yeah, all those felonies were bogus charges over like bookkeeping errors or something.
Oh, he's a criminal. Bookkeeping errors.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break here. When we return, no big deal, just the U.S. Treasury being hacked by China. I mean,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. And I'll tell you where Elon Musk is laying his head these days at $2,000 per night when we return. Hang on. I'm Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, listen up.
Right now, save 50% on all window styles, plus a bonus 10% off and 0 interest for 6 years. Hurry, sale ends December 31st. Call Window Nation today to schedule your fast, free in-home estimate or visit windownation.com.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Listen New Year's Eve as Penn State battles Boise State. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. on the home of Penn State football. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details. Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyoutrealestate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steiners from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhouse Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
Free speech lives here with Rich Zioli weekday afternoons 3 till 7 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
.1210 WPHT. I'm Shannon Burke, along with Hummel in for Kayal and company this morning on a New Year's Eve. You feeling good about the Chinese hacking the Treasury?
Oh, of course. And it can only lead to good things. I think so far they've denied it. Us?
Of
we wouldn't do
course.
something like that. Never really trust the CCP.
They say they're groundless accusations, lack of evidence, and they themselves claim that they're constantly opposed all forms of hacking. It just makes you think that there's nothing that's unhackable, right?
Yeah. Then I have an appreciation for hackers, I think, just because my tech skills are so not savvy. I'm like, how did you do that? How did you how did you get into the U.S. Treasury, whatever hack thing? So I just think because I'm so not wired that way that I have an appreciation even for the criminals that are able to pull it off.
I'm probably being hacked personally right now. That's how low my tech skills are.
Yeah.
But, in an increasingly online world where so much business is done there that you really got to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
They went right to the Treasury Department. Didn't even mess around with White House stuff. Just right to the Treasury.
Right to the monies. Yeah.
How far away are we from this bird flu being called a pandemic?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they can pull it off this soon after COVID. I don't know if I saw that woman speaking about, what was her name? Jen something or other, trying to pitch the bird flu vaccine and that it should get on the schedule. And I'm like, yeah, how about not? Especially with RFK coming into town. I don't think anybody's going to be getting any new vaccines anytime soon. So
I don't think so either. But, there is talk about here. You remember Dr. Lena Wen? She advised on the previous pandemic.
Okay.
She looks like a character from The Simpsons.
Lisa Wen.
Lena Wen. Here we go.
What should be happening in the Biden administration right now that isn't going on?
Yeah, there are two main things that they should be doing in the days that they have left. The first is to get testing out there. I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having rapid tests, home tests available to all farm workers, to their families, for the clinicians taking care of them so that we aren't waiting for public labs and CDC labs to tell us what's bird flu or not.
Yeah. We got to test for it.
That again. Yeah,
I don't think we are either.
Scared anymore of anything. You can't scare us like this back to back. Maybe a few people, hanger-oners, but yeah, I don't think I'll be getting any new vaccines anytime soon.
Oh, I didn't get the first one. I certainly won't get any more. But you could, I think, like you said, most Americans aren't going to fall for it because we see right now the slow. We have it here, we've seen it there, and it's in humans. I saw an article that the UK was suggesting people stay home for a week to stop the transmission of it. There's one human case in America that's even severe. It's in Louisiana, which oddly enough caused Gavin Newsom to declare a state of emergency in California, several states away.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But I don't think it'll take black booted thugs in the streets to force any type of compliance with a bird flu scare. I just don't think it's going to work again.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It's funny. Towards the end of people caring about vaccines, I realized that when people would ask me if I was vaccinated, I would just say yes, because that wasn't a lie, because I have been vaccinated against tetanus or something like that. You didn't specify what vaccine. I've had vaccines in the past.
Right.
But
polio.
Yeah. I've had a meningitis vaccine or something like that. But there was just no need. No need for another one of these things. So no, thank you. I don't think the American people are going to fall for it again.
No, I don't think so either. And all the talk about a blanket pardon, and I think Fauci may want to pick up one of those blanket pardons too, as well.
Yeah, all the things that are getting unearthed from his. We knew that he knew that it wasn't the. What was it? They originally said it came from like a pangolin to a bat. They knew all along that it came from the lab, and they kept that under wraps.
I think a pangolin.
Absolutely insane.
I
didn't know what a pangolin was until.
I had to look it up too.
A pangolin? Penguin? What did you say to me?
I think pangolin have a cloaca. That's what I learned.
Yes, the hole, just the all-encompassing hole. Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know that Elon Musk has a home per se. I know he's got some kind of a compound built in Texas for a couple of his wives and half a dozen or so of his kids. Yeah. And of course, the guy can live wherever he wants to. But apparently he's been staying at a $2,000 a night bungalow at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, he's not getting it for free?
That's what I said. Why would you think all he did to help Trump? You think Trump comps him? No.
Is that just what it's going for, and he's getting it, pro bono? Because none of those guys needs money, so I don't think that. Yeah, that's funny that he's staying there. Last I heard, he was renting. He went on Rogan. He's like, "Yeah, I'm renting." They're like, "What?
Right?
How are you renting? Trying to save money?"
The richest man in the world. Maybe he gets it. You don't need it. He doesn't need a home. He can stay over at Trump's place.
Exactly.
He's at a cottage called Banyan, just a short walk away from Trump's actual home there. And people are very nervous. He's got too much access to Trump, and he's popping into meetings, and he's has dinner with him, and he had dinner with him and Jeff Bezos. And do you think that Elon Musk could have too much access to Trump?
I mean, no, because if Trump didn't want him around, he wouldn't. But Elon just has so much influence. I mean, he's done so much for technology. And again, like you said, he was like the darling of the Democratic Party, like 4 years ago? So, I mean, he's just... I think he's like an American hero, to be honest with you. Just all the things that he's done and the new innovations and excitement for the future. And he seems to be really concerned about... where we're going globally, trying to get us to Mars. I mean, I think this is all pretty admirable stuff.
Right.
EVs and stuff like that, however you feel about them. So,
back in October, there was a report by House Democrats on oversight. And they found several instances where Trump appeared to profit from guests with personal and professional ties staying at his properties. I mean, they accused him of emoluments violations, with no one's ever been prosecuted for, because of his hotels. Well, while he was president, and Saudi Arabia comes in, and all their princes stay at one of his hotels. I guess at the end of the day, he'll profit somehow. It's not like they hand in the money. But I guess they're trying to raise the same concern about Musk. But he's an advisor, right?
I think so. Right? He's heading a government agency, Doge. So, I mean, I feel like you probably want these leaders to be in close proximity and be in good communication with one another.
Yeah, I don't think if he has any influence on the president, I don't think it's a negative influence. And people are concerned, he's got a lot of government contracts, Okay, I mean, he's the richest guy in the world. Why does he, he's not going to try to enrich himself further.
Yeah.
Right? The guy's worth $430 billion or something like that?
Right, yeah. Yeah, as long as it's not in conflict with the American people, I don't have a problem with people making money. It's not as long as it's not at the expense of the rest of us. I don't care if rich people get richer, as long as we're not going into war or something like that.
Oh yeah. So, as long as it's not happening at our at
our expense. Like people get so mad about people making money, but they're not taking money out of your pocket. The government is. but
Right.
these entrepreneurs aren't. So I don't understand why people get so upset.
855-839-1210. Dalai Lama once said that the purpose of your life is to be happy, but he can't tell you anything after that. He can't say
That's
how
it.
to be happy, just to be happy. But when we return, scientists are literally on the scientific verge of the true secret to being happy.
Oh, I'm excited for this one.
We'll do it next. Stick around. I'm Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
That's why I don't go online without connecting to NordVPN. I don't want anyone stealing my personal information and snooping on my browsing activity. Also, TechRadar named NordVPN as the most trusted VPN by casual users and experts. Features like Threat Protection Pro safeguard your devices from phishing websites. Scan downloads for malicious files and disable intrusive ads and trackers so you can surf more safely online. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. By the way, you can protect up to 10 devices with one account. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
At the Acura Season of Performance event, every car is ready to match the energy of winter. Own the mountain roads with available super handling all-wheel drive in the TLX, RDX, and MDX. And power through the storm with the all-electric ZDX's flexible charging packages. Own the energy of the season at the Acura Season of Performance event going on now. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Visit Piazza Acura in Ardmore, Reading, or Westchester today.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It's the Big 3 and 9 on Kayal and Company.
All right. The Big 3 and 9. I don't even know what that is. I'm Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, filling in for Kayal and Company, who apparently do a Big 3 and 9.
They sure do. But you were going to tell me something about happiness.
Yes, I am.
Bring it into my life.
There's been a lot of studies on happiness, believe it or not, and there's one out of Harvard back in the 30s. It only focused on about 270 men. They said a close relationship is far more important than money.
You mean like with your spouse or just with people in general?
A close relationship. Okay. Yeah, I guess it could be your wife, your children. I don't know. Yeah. Relationships and how happy you are in that relationship is the most powerful influence on your happiness. They said, look, taking care of your body's good. That's a good thing too. But you're don't go crazy. But your relationship is a form of self-care too.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah, lonely people die, certainly, even if you're in good health otherwise. Like you said, you do all the things, you eat well, you exercise. If you're a lonely person, you're probably not going to make it very long.
They say loneliness is just as dangerous as smoking some ciggy poos and drinking
Sure
yourself
is.
silly.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're social beings, so back in the environment in which we evolved, being ostracized from the group was a death sentence. So I think that there's something to be said there for the need for human connection.
I mean, it's not like I'm thinking, all these poor homeless people, they must not be very happy, but they've got a girlfriend. Maybe that's
they got lots of friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of people down.
Yeah.
They've taken on the largest, most comprehensive, diverse experiment on happiness ever conducted. 1,000 scientists have submitted proposals to. They've recently been honed down to 7 different categories of interventions. They've asked a ton of volunteers to get involved. It is they perform an activity. It takes about 25 minutes. You can do it in your home. You don't need any special equipment. And they hope that this study will help, shed some new light, if anything, to how you can provide yourself with happiness.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a ticket there. And I feel like that's a common theme wherever that I've seen a lot of these happiness studies, and a lot of them say, your personal relationships are really important. And it also seems to be the last thing people think about right before they pass, right, on their deathbed. I look at a lot of those studies too. No one is like, oh, I'm about to die. Can you show me my trophies one more time? It's like, no, you want to be around the people that you love and loved you, and those are your most precious things in life. So
they do say that some major event could affect your happiness, but this study, the Harvard study, found that your well-being is very resilient to a short-term negative event, like losing a person or your house burning down or whatever.
Sure.
In the UK, the study from the 30s found that the UK was the most miserable place in the country. It's got to be. But they said that well-being and happiness there begin to slide during World War I and only get the highest after World War II. But
interesting.
I also think that a certain amount of it's got to be objective, right, or subjective.
Yeah, like you're just a more depressed person clinically. Like you take certain things to heart more than other people do. I think that there's certainly something to be said for that.
I mean, I know plenty of people that aren't rich that seem to be way more happier than I am.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I'm not saying I'm rich, but
Yeah. Or you could have two people go through a similar thing, and one is totally fine and one is an absolute wreck. So I think genetics certainly play a role. If you're predisposed to depression or things like that. I'll tell you this, though. I know a guy that I do jujitsu with, and he was in Afghanistan and Iraq and all of that. And he's just one of those people that thrived. Like, he was just impervious to PTSD. Like, he'll hear a song, like we were listening to some song as we were, grappling, and he's like, oh, I love this song. He goes, it reminds me of Afghanistan. And I'm like, who are you? So, there's just some people that just, like, thrive in war. So, you could have two people go through the same thing, and one is just a wreck, and the other one was just like, best time of my life, had a great time. Just like a G.I. Joe character. So I think, different people obviously handle the same situations very differently.
Right. The people that go through the same thing can be wildly. I think we're impervious in a large part to actions like, a war or being involved in a war. I know you have PTSD and things of that nature, but the human mind can overcome.
Everyone has their own unique formula. So even if you put in different givens, like different numbers, you're going to get a different outcome because we're all, built a little bit, structured a little bit differently.
We're all
a unique snowflake.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Which is true, genetically speaking, at least. Yeah.
You could feel anger and still be a happy person, right?
Oh yeah, happiness is weird because it's a very transient state of mind. Like you could be happy 7 times a day and pissed off 7 times a day and upset 7 times a day. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's like a good gauge on your life. I have done a lot of research into this over the last several months, I'll admit. And I think the goal now is like fulfillment, purpose, and peace of mind. That's usually what I'm chasing. I'm not really chasing joy and happiness anymore. It's more like, how can I feel just at ease most of the time?
Fulfillment and purpose.
Yeah, like that seems to be a more stable benchmark than just happiness. Because everyone thinks like, oh, I want to be happy all the time. But even if you lived a great, perfect life, your body just has to go back to baseline, just the way that, dopamine cycles in the brain. You're just going to come off your high at some point. You're not going to be high on dopamine, serotonin, and all the good feeling hormones all the time. You can't. So I think that the goal of more people should be peace of mind, fulfillment, meaning, things like that.
I think a lot of people, young people, look for a career with purpose more than I did.
Yeah. I think they do. But they're also say it again.
I would look for a purpose when I decided to do what I used to be in the bar business. That was my purpose wasn't to get people inebriated. At least I didn't feel like it was.
Yeah. But maybe your purpose was to feed your family or something like, this is lucrative, I can do that. Where I feel like a lot of people my age, millennials and Gen Z, certainly are chasing these passion careers. And I'm making fun of myself as I'm saying that, where they don't want to do anything that they don't like, if that makes sense, which isn't good either, because they quit a job after 2 weeks. They're like, it wasn't a good fit. It's like, you're 18. You should be doing the grunt work right now. So.
But I also feel that you can have a purpose that's not involved in any way with your job. I mean, you have to have a job, right? And your job doesn't have to give you some. I mean, there's purpose okay, I put your groceries in the bag for you and helped you out to the car with them. They're looking for a purpose I've changed someone's life, or I stopped global warming, my second year out of college, or something like that. And I don't know where that comes from.
They want just a big impact on the world. I think the biggest impact most of us have are just kind of in our small interactions day to day, or in our personal relationships, where, there's been many times where I've been having a bad day and someone is just super polite to me, and it just kind of turns me around.
Right.
So I think that those things shouldn't be discounted.
For me,
do have an impact.
For me, it's I can have a really bad day, but if my dog comes over and lays his head on my knee, I'm like, all right, life isn't that bad.
Yeah, life isn't that bad, exactly.
But I wish I had it as good as you do, buddy.
Yeah, well, let me tell you this. I don't know if this is a happiness hack for anybody, but, if I was going through something hard, or, when in the last few months, I would watch these vlogs. How people watch vlogs of these beautiful places, maybe New Zealand or Positano, the Amalfi Coast. Well, I like to watch vlogs of the worst places on the planet. So I'll watch what it's like to live in South Sudan. And boy, does that turn your day around. You're like, yeah, this. I think it was during the outage, right after the hurricane. I'm like, man, I had COVID. I was sick. There's wires everywhere. It's hot. And then I just watch these vlogs of South Sudan on my phone, and I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. So
back in the day, a lot of psychiatrists, they have a pie chart that said around 50% about what determines your happiness is your genetic. It has to do with your genetics. I mean, certain people are born an Eeyore, and they're just, it's always and certain people are born a Tigger. They're all naturally happy all the time. Nothing seems to mess them up.
Sure.
It seems to be a genetic. They say another 10% is determined by they believe it's determined by external factors, Wait,
you said only 10%?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy small. Because, you see that all the time. I went to Southeast Asia about 10, 15 years ago. And, you meet these people that conceivably should be really sad because they have, these impoverished lives, and they're just so happy because they got what they need and they have their family and everyone's okay and they're happy people. So
I think, and I think America is vastly different from any of these countries because for whatever the promise of, opportunity that's here and, the land of opportunity, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sudan is, they don't really say that they're the land of opportunity.
Yeah. Definitely not Sudan. Definitely not
hey,
that,
come to Sudan and try to keep the flies off your face.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are sold this lie that they should be happy all the time, and if you're not, something's wrong. And that's not the case at all. Most of the time, you're not going to be ecstatic. Most of the time, you're just kind of in neutral setting.
Yeah.
But people, especially with the advent of social media, think they see these curated, perfect lives that aren't real, by the way. They're fake lives, and the people living them aren't really living them. But we're sold this lie that, you should be happy all the time, 24/7, and if you're not, something's wrong. So that's why you have this high turnover rate of, like, say, Gen Z trying to find, like, the perfect career and the perfect partner and the perfect friend group and perfect body. It doesn't exist. So lower your standards, friends. You'll be happier. You'll be
Great
so
advice
much happier.
from
Lower
Hummel.
the bar so you could actually step over it.
Let's lower those standards in 2025, huh?
Yes, that's my New Year's resolution. Lower your standards.
All right. When we return, leaving your home is when they always say, don't ever tell anybody when you're going on vacation. Don't announce it on social media because people assume that your home is vacant and they can come and rob you. But there are a couple of occupations where they always know you are not at home and they rob you, and you've got a lot of money because of your job. And I'll tell you who the FBI is warning right now against some high-end thieves that know your schedule quite well. Stick around. I'm Shannon Burke with Anna Hummel in for Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Your Penn State Nittany Lions are heading to the Fiesta Bowl on New Year's Eve.
Touchdown, Penn State! The Nittany Lions respond!
Penn State's postseason continues, advancing to the CFP quarterfinal to face Boise State.
He's close, he's there, touchdown, Penn State!
Catch all the action New Year's Eve starting at 7 p.m.
I'll drive into the end zone for a touchdown.
Here on your home for Penn State football. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
Is your kitchen or bathroom in need of a makeover?
It's time to transform your home into a personal oasis with Emmons Remodeling.
Our expert team specializes in kitchen and bathroom renovations, creating beautiful, functional spaces you and your family will love. We handle everything from design to installation.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
Make 2025 the year you get started on your next success with the University of Maryland Global Campus. An accredited state university, UMGC is a school for real life, helping working adults like you learn the skills you need for the career you want. Choose from more than 135 degrees and certificates in career-relevant fields and earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and work experience. Or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer scholarships, affordable tuition, and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond. Get a head start on your goals in the new year. Now is the perfect time to take the next step in your life and education at University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply now and save with no application fee. Undergraduate and most graduate courses start January 8th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
For the area's finest dining experience with fabulous cuisine, extensive wine list, and waterfront views of the Philly skyline, visit the River Winds Restaurant in West Deptford, New Jersey. Enjoy entrees that feature certified Black Angus steaks and the freshest seafood while overlooking the Delaware River. River Winds can host your next special event. They'll plan your holiday party, family gathering, or corporate meeting in one of their newly renovated waterfront rooms, each with a private deck. For an incredible dining experience or special event, theriverwindsrestaurant.com.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Get the vehicle that's on your wish list with year-end savings from the Piazza Auto Group. For a limited time, get an incredible 0% APR for up to 72 months available on the all-new Honda Prologue from Piazza Honda in Langhorne, Philadelphia, Pottstown, Reading, and Springfield, or the new 2024 ZDX from Piazza Acura of Ardmore, Reading, or Westchester, also with 0% financing. Contact your local Piazza Honda or Piazza Acura dealer, or you can shop online, Piazza Honda and PiazzaAcura.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Calling all Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We're in for Kayal and Company, Anna, Hummel, and myself. Well, if you're going to rob someone, it helps to know when they're not home, right?
Yeah, that would be useful information for sure.
Don't brag about going on vacation to Europe for a month or whatever. Don't take a bunch of pictures and post them instantly. That's the advice anyway. One surefire way to know someone's schedule is to actually just go and look for it. And in that case, professional athletes have been falling to what they're calling somewhat of a cartel. They know what your schedule is. They know when your away games are, right?
Right.
They figure you're a rich guy. They look at your contract. This guy's got a lot of dough. He's got to have some valuables in his home.
Yeah, they follow the WAG on social media, so they know she's at the game too.
Yes, the WAG.
Yeah, wives and girlfriends. I learned what that meant recently.
Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce were targeted back in October. More recently, it's been Dak Prescott's pregnant fiance, and there's been a lot of players. Joe Burrow from the Bengals got nailed. Mike Conley, a guard for the Timberwolves. They know exactly where you are. You're playing it's the Cowboys' case. They were getting their butt kicked by the Eagles this weekend. They know exactly where you were, and they more or less when you're going to be home. And they do a lot of research publicly. These guys are using Wi-Fi jammers, cell phone jammers. They're very sophisticated. They do their research.
Yeah,
it is impressive. I mean, you make off with a couple of Super Bowl rings. You can find about just anything you want to know about anybody online.
Sure.
A lot of these CEOs get nailed when they're off at a conference or something, to the point where the FBI's had to warn them. I mean, I don't know if I was a multi-million-dollar professional football player, I'd had my home would be, I'd at least get a dog.
Yeah.
Or two.
Yeah, a pit bull or something like that, or higher security.
Yeah, a guy. I mean, if you're making $40 million a year, you can afford to shave off a couple of bucks for a security guy to sit in your parking lot or in your driveway.
Don't you at least live in a gated community? I mean, I'm sure there's other ways to infiltrate than just going through the front or something like that. But
most
at least there'd be a one line of defense.
Yeah. Well, it's not happening. And what do? You hire somebody, and I think because you're rich.
Yeah, that's what rich people do. You got to protect your wealth, friends, obviously.
I think the Cowboys deserve to get robbed while they're away Sunday.
Are they not doing? I don't really follow the sports.
They don't follow sports ball? No, they got it.
No. You disappointed with their performance? I'm assuming.
Quite. Yeah. They 41-7. I think they lost. It was very bad.
Yeah, I'm
very
sorry
bad
about that.
To wind up the year, Anna, you have any words of advice? You want to sum up your year? Was it a good year, a bad year? What are you looking forward to?
Do we have
the rocky
year?
It
was a tumultuous year for sure, but I got involved in a lot of cool stuff. So kind of fully threw myself into the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world of training. So I'm doing that 5-6 times a week. Not that I'm training for anything. I'm not trying to be like a UFC competitor or
is this for like
Abu Dhabi
personal protection for yourself? Or
no.
Okay.
I don't think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can really do that much if the other person has a gun, a knife, or friends.
It's just for health.
Yeah, just more like it's like chess with your body. So it's a good workout. It's good for your mind, and I think it's good for your ego to just be checked every day and go, you ain't ish, Anna, you ain't ish. It's good character building, let's put it that way, just to get smashed every day by these giant dudes. But it's a lot of fun. So I did that, and then also I feel like I'm slowly transitioning. Other people are transitioning. I'm transitioning too into a Buddhist. So I joined. Yeah. I joined this local Buddhist meditation center that's been really helpful. For a lot of reasons. So me talking about the whole peace of mind and compassion comes from somewhere. You mentioned the Dalai Lama earlier.
Yeah.
He's my sensei. So kind of learning more about that and the ancient philosophy of the East. And listen, Shannon, I know we kind of sometimes we roll our eyes at that sort of stuff.
No, I'm not rolling my eyes at it.
There's a lot of wisdom there, friends. So I encourage people to check it out.
I'm sure.
So I'm a retired Jew, atheist / becoming Buddhist. I got all the labels, all the titles, but it's been a really kind of eye-opening experience. So it's good.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to no joint pain in 2025. That's
okay.
Just shoulder, elbows, knees, they're all coming apart. And
there you go.
But it's been an average year. I think midway through the year, I started to feel better about the future of this country, and our economy and things like that. And of course, November 5th took so much weight off of I don't know why I'm carrying weight on my shoulders about a national election. But I think a lot of people after November, they're like, thank Lord.
Yeah, we're just relieved. Yeah. I said the same thing for sure. Just to all right, let's try to get back to business. I was really worried about, I don't freak out kind of like the liberal meltdown people do.
Right.
I just don't think that you can't do anything at a certain point when you just freak out. Obviously not. Yeah. But I'm just, I'm excited for things to hopefully kind of settle down, and hopefully we won't find ourselves in another world war. Because that was a big concern of mine. I'm like,
mine too.
Iran's kind of acting out of pocket, and Russia's kind of acting up, and China seems to be barking. So hopefully this will all quell down.
Yeah. I agree. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Yes. Cheers.
And Happy New Year to everyone. I'm not going out tonight. I'm staying at home.
Yeah, it's amateur hour out there. I don't. It's not fun.
Does anyone go out anymore on New Year's Eve?
I don't know. I think I did see some article about how most people are staying in the homes they pay for, and they're excited about it. And I'm right there with them. So.
Well, thanks to the gang at 1210 WPHT, Jim and everybody else. And
Jim, Justin, thank you guys.
Yeah, Jim, Justin, Greg, all you guys. We appreciate it. It's been a joy. Have a happy New Year. And enjoy the rest of your day. From Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, I'm Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel for Kayal and Company. See you.
Your weeknights are getting a whole lot better. With Jimmy Fallon, 7 to 10 p.m.
Back when I was a cab driver, trying to make my way in comedy and find some entree into television and radio and everything in between, I was writing articles, mocking sports culture and cancel culture and things like that. And they had booked me an interview on WPHT. They were the very first radio station to ever book me as a guest. We had a lot of laughs. So to be sitting here, 8 or 9 years later as a host in your lineup is obviously a really big deal to me personally.
Jimmy Fallon, now weeknights, 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hey, it's Nick Kayal here. Recently met with some of my friends from the Piazza Auto Group, and we were test driving the 2025 Hyundai Tucson, the brand's most popular SUV. Its bold new design has plenty of cargo space, while its standard all-wheel drive and great gas mileage keeps you prepared for any adventure. It also protects you and your family with best-in-class safety. Visit Piazza Hyundai of Pottstown off Route 422 or Piazza Hyundai of Westchester on Route 202 and online anytime at piazzahyundai.com.
Win big this holiday season with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning's win-win deal, offering the best HVAC value on new installs to keep your home warm. Save thousands instantly with no equipment markups, extended 10-year warranty, rebates, and tax credits. Plus, CNC makes budgeting for your new system easy with 0% financing options. Schedule an estimate today with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York certified comfort experts, and start saving today. Visit cc-hvac.com. Offers only for new installations through January 31st.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Apparently, we were so good the first 3 hours, they've asked us to come back and do another additional hour. I honestly thought we were done at 9. I have nothing to do all day. So
it's like, thanks, yeah, Jim and Justin. All right, see, I guess what's going on?
That's how out of the loop I've been since Christmas.
That's okay, man. We're getting back into it.
Way, way, way out of the loop. I'm not that far out of the loop that I don't know that Jay-Z has been sued.
Yes.
And the way I understand that this guy in Houston handles these, Busby is his name, is it does sound illegal to me. They approach the celebrity or that might have been at a Diddy party. Mm-hmm. They are representing a client, Jane Doe, and they say, hey, guess what? We've got this information. Jane Doe says you did this and that and this. We'd kind of offer you an opportunity to settle this, before we get it messy and it gets into in the press, and we don't want that to happen, Mr. Z. To which Jay-Z, shockingly, the guy with so much money, you think he'd drop whatever. Here's a couple of $1 million, go away.
Yeah.
He's not at all. He has turned around and found a loophole to try to throw out the lawsuit. They say he's claiming the statute that they're suing under didn't even take effect until after the alleged assault. And it can't be applied to the rapper retroactively.
Right, because it happened 3 months before the alleged thing, which didn't happen, by the way, according to Jay-Z and his counsel. So,
but had it happened.
Yeah. And then it was also like it was only in New York City, and this alleged place they took this 13-year-old was outside of New York City, so it shouldn't count. Really bizarre, shady stuff. So...
he says Jane Doe claimed in her complaint she was driven from Radio City Music Hall to a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway 20 minutes away. Jay-Z's lawyer says any residence with that description, if it existed at the time, would be outside territorial boundaries of New York City.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Have you been following all the Diddy stuff, the freak-offs, pretty closely?
I mean, because I find it
it's
eerily
like Epstein Part 2, kind of.
Yeah. I think it's just like Epstein, except he didn't fly to an island.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he just did it like at his house. But the whole blackmail thing, and just, I wouldn't be surprised if he dies soon, Diddy in jail, because I feel like kind of with the Epstein thing, he's like, listen, if I'm going down, I'm taking everybody with me. And everyone is like, well, that can't happen. So you're going to die of pneumonia, friend. So pneumonia or whatever it is.
Or accidentally slip on a bar of soap and break your neck. And
break your neck and die and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, to come out and try to, weasel your way out of it because of some technical arguments,
mm-hmm.
I think is it a kind of an admission or...
Kind of, yeah. It's like that we got no other ground to stand on other than the fact that this is based on a statute that, happened 3 months before, or, whatever the case is, and that it was outside of New York City, so it shouldn't apply because the crime was outside of the proximity of where the statute should be enforced. Yeah, it's really strange stuff to go into, but... We'll see where this goes. It is sad because now I feel like so much of the music that I grew up with is like, well, that person's a pedophile and that person is a
I still tap my foot.
A rapist.
I still tap my foot when I hear a Michael Jackson song.
Oh, same. Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah, and R. Kelly, like, what a voice of an angel. You can't deny talent, I guess.
But out of the devil himself.
Yeah. To me, though, and this is, just like a secret between you and I, Shannon, I feel like it makes the music more fun to listen to. I've been listening to more Diddy now than I ever had in my 37 years. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just more fun because I feel like more of a rebel, So,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gearing up to file a motion to dismiss the whole thing. But the lawyer, Busby, says we're all our ducks in a row. The law is on our side here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, part of me thinks, okay, if Jay-Z's really fighting it this hard and not just writing her a check, which you could easily do, maybe he's got somewhere, some ground to stand on. Then you come in with a bunch of technical arguments. Well, if it happened, it had to be outside the New York City area, and
it's not helping his public image at all.
No.
So.
And I think, he's got a long-term relationship with his name. His name is this company, Rock.
Rockaware?
No, it's anyway. He's got a contract with the NFL that pays his production company $25 million a year or $20 million a year to help. After George Floyd, they needed someone to kind of help. Mix things up. I don't know. That's a jeopardy. I thought. Okay. I would think that his wife Beyonce's performance at the Super Bowl may be up in jeopardy.
Yeah. Did you catch her at wasn't it in Texas? There was a bowl on Christmas, right?
Oh, I did not catch it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Was she performing?
Huh? Yeah, she performed. It was a big production. I enjoyed it. I was wondering if you watched it.
Well,
I'm that's the only way I watch sports is the halftime performances. Check it out. Yeah. Yeah, I used to dance growing up. My mom owned a dance studio, so I still like watching, dance performances and stuff like that.
I originally heard about an attorney in Houston before this guy Busby showed up, and she wrote an article about it that she had been approached by somebody with a video, and she had seen the video herself, and that there is a quote. I'm going to paraphrase. It was I don't know if she meant celebrity, as in music or sports or something like that, but someone of higher fame and notoriety than Diddy himself in the video, and she said you can clearly identify who this person is in the video, right. And this guy wanted to hire her to help him get some money from this very famous person, and she felt it was so touchy that she turned it down. She could have made a big chunk of change. Then the guy went to the current lawyer Busby, and I mean I'm not like following it like deep into it, but to me, I believe that I don't know who the famous person is. A lot of people speculate it was Kamala. Did you hear that as well?
No, I thought, but you're not referring to the Jay-Z before he was named, when he was just like Celebrity A.
Yeah, that's what. But he's the other celebrity. But there was a male and a male and a female were there.
Who's really famous, huh? I know.
Jay-Z and Kamala hanging out?
Kamala, I don't know if it was Kamala. We can't pin everything on her. Poor thing. No, just kidding. I have no idea who it would be. I would assume I really hope it's not Beyonce. That would really
yeah. So, the Beehive would just wouldn't like that at all.
The Beehive. No, I don't know. I have no idea. Lil' Kim. I don't know. But, who's around in 2000? I'm trying to think.
I've also read some parts of this alleged Jane Doe's statements, where she kind of says that this stuff, there's many more celebrities that do this, not just Diddy. I mean, there are many more examples of the Epstein/Diddy behavior throughout entertainment.
Yeah, where they were
sex parties,
having sex with children and taping
I don't know about that. I mean, if you're dosing everybody with GHB or something in order to, they all have the exact similar story,
Yeah.
They drank something, they felt woozy, they went to lay down before they know it. Diddy was on top of them,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure obviously that happens in isolated cases, but this was just so systematic and kind of he would always talk about his parties, flaunt his parties, no one parties like a Diddy party. It was it was like a wide open secret that no one would really, I don't want to say talk about. Obviously they would allude to it, but I don't know. It just seemed like everyone was kind of okay with it because that's just what's supposed to happen.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Yeah, I was thinking that Jamie Foxx, I don't know if you heard this rumor. So he came out with a comedy special, his first in 20 years or something. And he talked about his illness. He got sick a couple years ago, a mystery illness. Everyone was it was a vaccine injury. No one knew. Well, there was a rumor going around that it was actually Diddy that poisoned him. And when he didn't die, he ended up calling the the FBI, and that's what broke the story. But I think that was just unfortunately a rumor. I was really hoping for that to be true because that would have been super salacious and fun.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, but when I heard that it was something else, he had some sort of sickness and not Diddy that caused him to go into the hospital, I stopped listening. So.
No. Well, they're too similar. Without now that you know there was a 13-year-old allegedly involved in Diddy's thing. But the thing that boggles me is you've got the kingpins of these organizations, or these, what do you want to call them, in prison. You never find out. I mean, if there are other men taking advantage of young girls and, basically children on Epstein's Island, we need to know who all of these people are. Obviously, that's why Epstein didn't kill himself.
I think that's pretty obvious.
You think Diddy suffers the same fate? I'm not wishing death on anybody.
I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like Epstein was kind of like a pivotal moment in media where the media said, this is what happened. And 99% of the people said, no, that's not what happened. You're not pulling this. It was just so sloppy. Like what? The cameras happened to not work and the guards happened to be asleep and the cellmate was removed the day before and everything just was a mess. It was just a really, really sloppy job. So shame on you. And I think that because everyone kind of has the same feeling about Diddy, that it wasn't just him that was involved. And if he somehow shows up dead, it wouldn't be a surprise. We can assume that a lot of people were involved and they just weren't going to let that cat out of the bag.
Right. And then you got to worry about, we're talking about, 20 years ago, some of these cases, 15 years ago, but. And then I tie this into not that similar, but think about the Menendez brothers case that just came back because of a Netflix documentary. Almost got them out of jail because in the 90s we didn't regard sexual assault as we do. Like we do today. I mean, you know what I mean?
Give me a little refresher. I know that they killed their parents. They alleged the parents were raping the boy. What was it?
They alleged that the dad was sexually assaulting both of them, and mom knew about it and did nothing. So they shotgunned them in their mansion.
They both shot like a parent, or
both of them had shotguns. One shot one, and the story, which is by their own testimony, is that their mother, after they shot her in the stomach or whatever, was moaning on the ground, and he went back over to finish her off and shot her in the face. But regardless, people just thought they were after their money, and their issue was after their parents were dead and gone, they immediately started to buy Porsches and Rolexes, and it kind of made the cops look twice. Because they denied it in the beginning, and then they came back later and said it was sexual assault, and we were being assaulted, and they didn't buy it. They're like, whatever, you're a murderer. But when the story came through the Netflix special, everyone, sexual assault. Well, let's get these poor guys. I mean, they're in prison for life, and they're thinking about getting them out. But for the reason that they murdered their parents in cold blood.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to the Luigi Mangione case where they're like, well, he was denied claims and, he did a good thing and he's like the Robin Hood of healthcare or something like that, when really he's a cold-blooded killer.
And a coward.
But he happens to be, pretty handsome.
Devilishly handsome. It's the eyebrows, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, and just like, you're just like, what are you doing? You had it all, man. You were rich. He came from like an aristocratic background. He went to an Ivy League school. He spent time at a surf camp in Hawaii. Like, he did well with women. And I'm sure we all heard he couldn't have sex because of some back issues that he had. I don't understand why that was Brian Thompson's fault, but, who knows?
He wasn't even a customer of United Healthcare.
I know. Isn't that bizarre? It was just like he was a mouthpiece for the system, so I'm going to go after that guy. And everyone applauded him. It was crazy. People were giving death threats to the McDonald's worker that blew in the call. Could you imagine? You got this like murder off the street. People are like, we're coming for you next, buddy. So
you got a murderer. The cops in that little town in
Altoona, whatever, Pennsylvania.
Altoona, and they're calling the cop that arrested him was a rookie, and they're calling for his head on a platter. They took a murderer off the streets like they were supposed to.
Right.
It's like no one really believes in the true law and order. Like, oh, it was a good cause. Let's let him go.
Yeah, and bizarrely enough, I mean, the guy was shot, so he was killed with a gun. No one said anything about gun control.
You're right.
No one cares about any of that. You know, if there's any sort of school shooting, obviously we need to go back to the books and pass legislation. But people were these liberals who hate guns were so happy that this guy was shot in cold blood in Midtown Manhattan.
You're right.
It's crazy.
There was not a single call for gun control. And I think part of he's got a 3D printed gun that he learned how to do on the internet.
Yeah, or was like a ghost gun. I started reading what that's just a gun without a serial number and, all this sort of stuff. So I'm not quite sure how he constructed it, but nobody cares. People want him to go free. He's got so many fans on the streets with signs like "Free Luigi" and stuff. So it's really bizarre.
It is ridiculous,
but fun to watch.
When we get back, you know as well as I do that there was a migrant. What do they call it? A caravan. It was on its way to the United States back in October. Mm-hmm. Right, and 3,500 or so. I forget the numbers. And then they hear Trump won the election in October. Half of them said, we're gonna go back to wherever, Honduras, or it will pass on this. Trump's a mean guy. Yeah. Well, there are several of them racing their way and forcing their way into the United States to beat the 20th and the Trump deadline, and it's getting violent there.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it next. I'm Shannon Burke along with Anna Hummel. We're in for Kayal and Company for all the way to 10. Believe it or not. Okay. Hang on.
This Merrill Reese update is brought to you by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.
Every move the Eagles made in the offseason, everything they did at training camp, this entire season is aimed at one thing, winning the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley's 2,000-yard season was phenomenal. Setting the all-time record would be a great achievement, but lose one player and they're all vital, just one, and everything they've worked for could go down the drain. Playing the starter Sunday is not worth the risk. With the Eagles, this is Merrill Reese. People ask, is PNC just a boring bank? Well, that depends. Is starting a business boring, or being the first person in your family to go to college? For nearly 160 years, they've done the hard and occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results for their clients. To see what boring banking can do for you, stop into any of their local branches right here in the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association member FDIC.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? That's how thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage. Brand new look, same great product.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Calling on Levittown. Hello there. To follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Well, there's a looming deadline and it is for a shutdown of the border. Most would be, what do we call them now, Anna? Are they migrants? Are they asylum seekers?
Yes, all of the above. Not illegal aliens. You can't say that one.
No, not that at all.
You can't say intruders, criminals.
you can't even say that? Well, how about if we describe it this way? So, most of the calmer, nicer would-be migrants turned around once they heard Trump won.
Yeah.
Many doubled down, and they've been identified apparently as part of the Tren de Aragua gangbang group, which is like a prison gang.
Yeah, gangbangers.
Yeah,
it's Black Friday at the border right now. People are trying to get in.
Right.
With the big TVs, yeah.
And now it's like breaking and entering into the country, not just, crossing a border. They said Tren de Aragua members are mobbing border crossings, and the men and women who man them with, they're using knives, broken liquor bottles, and tire irons, where they mob and attack border guards that try to stop them. 20 last week, armed with these crude weapons, tried to force their way into the U.S. at a border gate. Another attempt to break through is expected for tomorrow. I don't know why they know they're trying to break it in tomorrow.
Right.
But
these
what
border agents have guns, right? Can't they?
I'm beginning to wonder. I got an idea. I think I see a way out of this.
Yeah. I'm like, listen, I'm no genius here, but no general. But I think if you have a gun, you can use it in this case.
And I don't know why we as a country don't look at our border as that important. I mean, there's so many Americans right now that would like to be literally borderless. And I think it comes out of an ignorant place of compassion, like compassion to a point where you're dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. They think they're the nice guys by doing this, but they're really harming themselves and everyone around them. And it's really like a rules for thee and not for me, because I'm sure you've seen those videos where, some conservative person on the street is like, listen, I got Jose and Raul here that need a place to stay. Can they stay in your house? And they're like, no, absolutely not. Yeah. So, people want it in a neighborhood, in a place where they can't see it because they want to be nice. So it's just BS virtue signaling. We've seen this before. We'll see it again.
And look at Chicago, where it's a blue city in a blue state, pretty much, and where the residents there, in some areas of Chicago are steaming mad. You can see they don't hold the same liberal ideology that we should be friendly to everybody and we're just compassionate. We love everybody.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Once they see it come to their neighborhood, it changes.
Changes the game.
It's a different day today. Yeah. They're more desperate to get more of the members into the United States before Trump takes over, obviously. The border control down there, and a lot of people with Homeland Security say you're seeing this violence because they know it's going to change in 20 days or whatever.
Sure.
That's going to be different, and they're going to be, they're going to be sought after. That Trump is going to go look for Tren de Aragua and deport them as quickly as he can. But I don't understand, if you've got gangbangers with broken liquor bottles and tire irons and knives, why
armed
aren't
with
we?
Blades, yeah.
Let's shoot them or shoot at them. And, it's like this administration has forced us to lay back and take it.
Yeah. Just reason with them. Just talk to them. I'm sure they'll all understand. It's like, no, dude, you gotta shoot these guys in the face.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Texas authorities were alerted to the attempt to force their way by an anonymous informant that said the violent border break-ins by this gang would continue every single night. They would start around 3 a.m. So you've got a whistleblower, I don't know, a tipster. They said they intend to, quote, cause harm to Texas National Guard soldiers that are stationed there, especially when they are left alone with no agents, border agents, to help them. So this is a violent attack on American military members or American police officers. If it were happened on the side of the road at a stop by a cop, the cop would shoot back if his life was a threat.
Shoot. Yeah, I don't understand why that. I mean, are they just not reporting like, hey, we killed 20 of these guys because is it the bad combination where it's a white cop and a person of color on the other side? But I think this is all a clean shoot. If someone's coming at me with a knife trying to get into the country, I think you have the right to shoot them in the face.
And they do say they said that, well, we've heard a lot of gunfire, but the gunfire is literally authorities in the United States are shooting pepper balls, pepper spray, that type of thing to try to deter these people.
So soft. Come on, guys. This is America. Use real bullets. Use real rounds. Let's go.
This is America. Isn't it wild that we'll go from this, a passive, open border, your son can turn into a girl overnight type of attitude, and the 180 that'll happen after the 20th.
I hope so. And listen, no one is more upset about the immigration crisis than people who came to this country legally. Like my dad, he's super hardcore, like shut the border because listen, all these other people who came to this country legally, these legal immigrants, had to wait in line. My aunt waited for 12 years for a green card to be able to come into this country. Meanwhile, she should have just flown into Mexico and just, trotted over the border. She would have got in a lot faster.
Right.
So a lot of these people who had to wait in line, it's really a slap in their face.
Right. I mean, it is. And I think that's why what turned a lot of Latino voters off of Democrats.
Absolutely. Yep.
In the election. And this Tren de Aragua, they're trying to just get more members here, take over some apartment complexes where they torture people. And, they hate the United States. They don't want to become Americans. They don't want to come here like the people that did it the right way. They literally hate the United States, and they will kill, destroy, maim in order to take over businesses or stores or apartment complexes.
Motivation that they hate America, or is it just like they see that there's money here for them to steal?
There's no one for them to rob back in Venezuela.
I don't know. Just you just think they want to just come here and hurt people? Like, it's just crazy their motivation.
Well, their motivation is a soft on crime government here. I mean, they know that if they do get arrested, especially if they're in New York City, they're going home to sleep in their own bed that night because they don't hold anybody overnight.
Yeah, could be. And there's nothing left to rob in Venezuela because that country took a dive.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I don't know that they blame America. I mean, these guys were all in prison prior to the Biden administration in Venezuela, and they were released. Because what a great thing to do for your country is just encourage the criminals, the gangs, to leave to go to America.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if they have a political agenda. I just think that they're just the bad guys, just criminals, and looking to. It's like, is there an enterprise? Like at least the cartel. I don't want to say at least the cartel, but try to do like some sort of enterprise with drugs and make money.
Well, they're working with cartels now, I think.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, it just seems like they're coming over here and they're not even trying to be. They seem to be very boisterous with their crimes, and that will probably end them in deportation, hopefully. So.
Well, I mean, in the cartel's defense, they're just trying to sell cocaine and stuff. They're not trying to kill anybody.
I mean,
directly.
If you get in the way of the money, they might, but otherwise, it seems like and I think they're trying to get into a lot of like legit businesses now, like avocados and stuff.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like I know that they got a lot of weed, and I don't want to call it dispensaries, but they're in Northern California. It's like a big problem because they're like siphoning off all this water from these other farmers and stuff. And every time the feds come, they just like up and leave, but start up a new farm like 2 miles down the road. So it's a big problem over there.
Governor Abbott of Texas declared Tren de Aragua a foreign terrorist organization officially. And I guess that means he can give them a tougher mandatory sentence if they're smuggling people and drugs into the country, like up to 10-year mandatory minimums.
Yeah.
And that guy's just trying to protect his state, which is kind of his job.
Yeah. I would not want to be living in the southern border of Texas right now. Seems like a pretty tenuous place to live.
Right. I mean, any border town in Texas up to the valley there is a very dangerous place. People are leaving in droves just to get the heck out.
Right.
Well, they can't take it anymore. I'm encouraged about Tom Homan. What discourages me is the attitude that Democrats have about being sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. You've got a criminal who's in the country illegally, and you may have him in custody. But because you love criminals and criminal aliens so much, you won't allow it's illegal for these sanctuary cities, for their law enforcement to pick up the phone and call ICE. And, you've got a retainer on this guy. He's here. Come get him. Right. That to me is, and I really honestly believe it's 100% about Trump. They know it's bad for them. They know it's bad for their citizens, but they're going to do it anyway because it makes Trump mad.
Yeah, certainly. And the really sad part is that it can be done. I mean, I think Gavin Newsom really cleaned up San Francisco when Xi Jinping was in town. Like, he got all the homeless off the street and made it nice. And then as soon as Xi Jinping left, he was just like, whatever. Like, so that's even worse, that it can be done and you're choosing not to. Why are you choosing not to? And I think you're right. It's for a political agenda, a political jab at Trump.
That's the only thing I can think of. They're happy they're elated when some of these during Trump's first term, when cities councils would pass their sanctuary city bills, they would cheer. Like, yeah, we beat Trump because we've got more criminals here and he can't take them.
Yeah, that was a weird flex by the liberal whites in the blue states.
I do.
Yeah, I think that was who was spearheading that. Like, look how great we are as people, just letting everybody in because you shouldn't be defined by a border. It's like, no, you absolutely should be.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is a country if you don't have a border? I don't understand. So
It blows my mind how Democrats can just abandon any sense of right and wrong and
rationality.
Yeah, like
logic.
Men can be women and women. My liberal little brother, who I've mentioned like 4 times so far in the show.
Yeah.
Has a biology degree, yet he can't tell me what a woman is.
No way.
I am not kidding you. He works in IT now, by the way. He may have forgotten all that stuff. So
that is crazy. Is he is he trying to just stick to his guns because he doesn't want to prove you right? Or
no,
something?
He doesn't want to admit that he's wrong. I think that's what it is.
So
it's like stand your guns.
Mm-hmm. So when you asked him what is a woman, what did he say exactly?
He said I said, can you tell me what a woman is? And he says, no, I can't. I said, well, you remember your biology degree from University of New Mexico? He goes, yeah.
Wait, he can't or he won't? There's a difference there.
he said he can't. I think he said he can't. It's because it's subjective, whatever. I mean, that's how you know the guy's really just abandoned all common sense because he actually has a degree. I'm sure he spent several years discussing X and Y chromosomes.
Yeah, makes a difference.
Yeah.
But whatever.
One thing I'm looking forward to, we'll talk about this when we return, is woke dead? Is it really dead? Because people say it's dead, and I hear companies, Walmart gave up their DEI, and all these companies, John Deere and all of the Tractor Supply, they all abandoned their DEI policies, or at least they claim to, because of the backlash. But some people are doubling down on it. We'll discuss it when we get back. Is woke dead? We'll do it next. 855-839-1210. It's the Kayal and Company Show on 1210 WPHT.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Listen New Year's Eve as Penn State battles Boise State. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. on the home of Penn State football. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. You can choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, or you can have their master jewelers create a custom one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at familyjewelers.com. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Shannon Burke, along with Anna Hummel, in for Kayal and Company today, 1210 WPHT. I think a lot of people would like to think that woke ideology is dead in this country.
Yeah.
I don't think. Do you think it happens automatically with it?
Dead. I think it might be on sabbatical, but I don't think it's dead, unfortunately.
How much of the woke revolution that happened was done, like the open borders people, in defiance of Trump?
I think he accelerated it. Like, people's hatred of him accelerated it. I don't know if he caused it. But it certainly got a lot worse. Like, oh, my God, during Biden's administration.
Right.
The DEI and the PC, and you can't say this about that person, even if it's true. You can't even say true things because it hurts people's feelings. We can't have that. So
I mean, really I think about that, and I see what's going on in the UK right now, where you can make a post on a social media over there that says men are not women and women can't be men, and the cops will show up at your door,
send you to jail. Yeah,
right. You'll do
for
20
hate speech or whatever,
20 months in jail. Yeah. And there are American politicians that are literally becoming aroused at the potential. They would just love.
It's a fetish. It really is.
Oh, I think it is to deny people.
It's a kink for sure. This obsession with like race, like, oh my God, ooh, it's like a black perpetrator and a white cop. This could be a good one. I don't get off on that, but I know some people do. It seems so.
People always ask, have we reached peak woke yet? I don't know that in my head, I think we have, because we've just defied common sense. We've allowed this movement just to destroy common sense and norms like, men are men, women are women.
Right.
And I don't know that a Trump election is necessarily a death knell for the woke movement. And there's part of me that thinks, okay, Trump could come out and say, in America from inauguration day forward, we will officially recognize, I forget how he put it, that, you are what you were born as, that's like
you were assigned at birth.
The government's take on it, that, and along with it, in order for it to completely die, the entirety of identity politics has to die as well. And I don't think people are willing to do that.
No, I don't think so. I think much like a pendulum swings back and forth, it's going to be kind of like that. And this was just a defiant swing in the other direction. People were like, no, this is ridiculous. I think the trans thing, when it started to affect children, that's when everyone was like, okay, you can't just play these games. You're teaching our children about gender identity and orientation and the spectrum, and parents were not having it. I think that was like the determining factor in where this kind of started to swing the other direction.
Some parents won't have it. Other parents double down on it. How many parents are out there fighting for, their son to have gender or puberty blockers?
Yeah. You know what? I'm kind of the ilk where it's like, whatever. Like if you're allowed to make really bad decisions. I know some people would say it's like child abuse. But then it's like, all right, can you not spank your kid? Like, what does abuse mean? So I feel like I'm pretty libertarian with a lot of things where I'm like, that's a horrible idea, but also you're allowed to make horrible ideas if, the parent's on board with the physician. So I don't know.
I do feel like we dodged a bullet with the Trump victory because Kamala would have taken this and driven it to the finish line. It would have been hardcore identity politics.
Yeah, that's kind of what she ran on the whole time. I mean, how many times did we hear that she had an immigrant mother from India and the Jamaican father and the middle class? It's like, okay, so who cares? Doesn't even matter. We just want, I feel like most Americans would like to go back to a meritocracy where we just get the best person in the job who can do it the best. And we don't care what their color is or their creed or the religion or the sex. We just want the job to be done.
We destroyed so much, though, with that ideology. I mean, I think it was Thomas Jefferson High School in Silicon Valley was the #1 high school in America. It was completely merit. It was, advanced students with just high intellect. And the Department of Education in California started looking at the race admission and decided there were too many Asian Americans and too many white Americans there, and completely destroyed that school. Went back to a lottery system, and we no longer have a place where the finest American kids can be nurtured, and encouraged.
Different standards for different types of people, which is insane. And I know there were a lot of Asians at, I think it was Yale and maybe Harvard that, weren't getting in because they'd reached Asian quota, I guess.
Yeah.
And they didn't want any more, which is insane. It should just be like, hey, these are our standards. And we want the creme de la creme to come to this school, institution, whatever.
Right. And instead of helping or even noticing, you can't even really notice out loud that there are fewer black Americans in that school than there are, without, and you certainly couldn't say, well, maybe there's something culturally different in, in the way they study or the way these people or their families
the
are involved.
Priorities of the culture, it might be different. And instead of trying to rectify that and go like, well, how can we bump up their scores? It's like, no, let's just eradicate the scoring system altogether. I think that there was a similar case of a school in Southern California where the kids in the honors program were, disproportionately white. So instead of saying like, how can we bump up the scores of the black and brown kids? They just dismantled the whole honor system together.
Right. Yeah. It's insane.
Like, what are you doing? Like bringing everyone down to mediocrity or below. So.
And if you look at media figures, MSNBC in particular comes to mind, they're drowning in self-pity about this. And for the second time in, 8-9 years, you had liberal talking heads saying the most obviously untrue, Trump's going to put us in camps. Rachel Maddow famously said that in 2016. They said, well, if you were to interview Mike Pence, what would you ask him? And her response was, I would ask him, is he going to put me and my friends into camps? I mean, this is serious journalism. Allegedly, you're on TV making $20 million a year, and you say things like that are certainly not true.
Right.
Yeah. But right. And then the red states start going on about, banning gender, whatever they call it, gender.
Bathrooms thing?
Well, the gender care that's gender affirming care.
Yeah, gender affirming care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that I don't know, I didn't know any transgender kids or anything growing up, and then all of a sudden there was just this explosion 5 years ago. And it's funny because I went home to California in August, and I had this discussion with my mom who told me, and I remember, she's like, when you were about 10 or 11, like, you would only wear boys' clothes. And I remember this. I didn't want anything to do with girls' clothes. I wanted to dress like a boy, like, wanted to play with the boys and all that sort of stuff. And she's like, thank God that we were living back then in the 90s and not today. Because it turned out that, like, I had just gone through puberty before all my girl friends, and I was really uncomfortable with my body, so I wanted to wear big clothing. I didn't think I was a boy, but now looking into that with like 2024 eyes, you'd be like, oh, she wants to wear boys' clothing. Time to start her on puberty blockers. It's like, no, dude. Remember when kids used to just go through phases? Remember that was a thing?
Right.
You know, when like your 8-year-old just thought he was a dinosaur, and that was just a phase. And now it's like, no, we need to affirm this decision this 8-year-old has made. It's like, no, dude, he's an 8-year-old. He's going through a phase. I know my friend's kid thinks he's like an SUV. It's like we can't, it's like we can't affirm these crazy thoughts by, prepubescent children. It's insane.
But you have parents that are, and adults that are educated, and even doctors that have bought into this ideology. And I talk to I have a lot of gay friends, and they're particularly upset. You would think they've come to be an ally, but most of them are not an ally. They're like, we're kind of LGBT. LGBT was kind of our thing, and now the T's came along, and they kind of hooked on to us, and we're not into all that puberty blocker nonsense. We're just gay.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that as well, where they're like, dude, I don't want to co-sign on all this other trash. I'm just into the gay thing, and as an adult, I don't want anything with like, kids' reassignment surgery, the bathrooms, and then I know a lot of people got upset, and not that I like really cared, but the sports situation, which is insane to me, that even like the Olympic committee was getting involved, saying like, well, technically she's doesn't matter, the Algerian boxer, and I think it was the Taiwanese boxer as well, were allowed to compete with the women, and it's
and the Australian weightlifter. Yeah.
Yes.
Over the holidays, I'm at a friend's house having dinner in Dallas. And these are lifelong friends of mine. And I know their kids and other family very well. And one of my buddies is sitting down, sitting at the counter or whatever. And we're all kind of milling around. And my buddy's getting ready to take some food out to the grill to grill it. I'm following him. When the guy sitting down at the counter goes, all right, everybody, you remember my son, Brian? And we all go, yeah. He goes, he's trans now. I just want to get it out.
Just want to get it out there.
And his son is an adult. He is not he's not a minor.
Sure.
And I saw in his eyes and in his voice this feeling of helplessness.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to, some fathers would want to beat the whatever out of you.
Yeah.
The gay or whatever you think you are. But he seemed like defeated, like he had done his best job to reason with his son. But in the end, he didn't want to lose his relationship with his son. It's his only kid. So he has to accept it. So he goes by the name Evelyn or something.
Oh, no.
I said,
wait, how old's the son again, you said?
23, I think, something like that.
Shame. And he got caught up in the whole college.
Yeah. He did. And I said, is he dating anyone? He goes, yeah. I said, what's their status? He's like, well, he's dating a dude, a guy who is also trans and goes by Irene or something like that. I'm like,
so they're both lesbians? Is that?
I said, why don't you just have a couple of gay guys? It would be
I know. Transgender math is like really confusing, and especially with like they didn't make their own pronoun. They just took the plural one. So then it gets really confusing. Like, how many people are coming to this party? They are coming.
Yes.
Okay. One person shows up. What is it? I thought they were coming. No, it's just me, but it's they. It's very confusing that they're trying to distort language in this way that's like really not the way it was supposed to be written or spoken. So.
This was about a year and a half or two ago. My oldest stepson, he's kind of like a surfer. He's like works at a record store, and he called us over to the house one day and said, "Mom, can I come over? I bring a friend for dinner." And she goes, "Yeah, sure, that's fine." And he goes, "Okay, well, they're on their way to the house now. Then we'll come over." She said, "They? I thought you said one person." He's like, "Oh, Mom, that's how he identifies." Or she. It's a she. Yeah. And her name was some Nix, Nix or whatever.
Oh, super ambiguous.
They, them, blah, blah, blah. So like a month after that, I said, "How's your friend Nix?" He goes, "Oh, she's back to being a girl now."
Just changes on the day. And
she
God
started.
forbid you use the wrong pronoun. You're a horrible person.
I'm not playing that nonsense
I
anymore.
say, listen, you want to go trans, you get it. Is that wrong to say? You get the it pronoun.
Right.
And that makes it easier because then I know it's at least a single person.
Right. Let's not defy grammar as it's existed for a long time, and the conjugation of possessives and things like plurals and it just changed. Look at the White House staff. Mm-hmm. In order to show that they're inclusive, we got a guy in charge of nuclear waste who wears a dress and lipstick and has an affinity for stealing women's clothing out of their luggage at the airport.
That was awesome.
Yeah, he was. And Karine Jean-Pierre, who is obviously inadequate to fill that position as a press secretary, horribly inadequate, because she clicked off 2 boxes. She was a twofer in the DEI scoring chart. She was a black woman. She was a black woman and gay, I believe. Yeah. You put someone into the position that's wildly unqualified and obviously every day, and then they've got, because you place so much value in DEI and the fact that you have a diverse, you can never fire the person.
Right.
Think about that for a minute, and they've urged her to take a break.
The racist one,
and sexist and homophobic and everything else. I don't think that we're out of the woods yet.
No, I don't think so. I think they'll hang on to it. And here's the thing, like if you kind of zoom out the timeline, society becomes at least Western society becomes even, only more and more progressive. Like think about how many conservatives or right-wing people that are like cool with weed and gay marriage. Like they don't care.
Right.
Those were like, liberals in the 60s. They kind of hold the same values. And I think that there's a lot of continuity or crossover between someone like me who's, let's just say I'm independent, but let's say I'm like libertarian, and someone who's like a classical liberal from the 80s and the 90s, where of course there's borders and genders. Like I'm not crazy, but also like people should be able to do what they want and free speech. That was the tenet of the left for a long time.
And I wonder how much of the whole woke ideology is fad, is you know what I mean? It's kind of it's kind of hip to have they, them, and sure, I'll identify as a chick for a little while, see how that goes over. I mean, we never knew what cisgender was until this movement came around.
Yeah. I think it's a big problem. I think people don't have hobbies, and they don't really have anything interesting about them, so they have to get behind a cause for purpose because they got nothing else going on. And listen, like I'm into the news and politics and stuff like that, but I don't let it define who I am. And I've often changed my mind about a lot of stuff. Other people are not open to that. People need to stop being so married to their ideas. You should want to have an idea because it's a good one, not because it defines who you are. That seems silly.
Right. And to sacrifice everything that everyone, and just say, that's up in the air. We don't even do that. Can you imagine if your grandparents were around today and you introduced a guy as a girl and said she feels
confusion? Just why this is? Yeah, it makes no sense at all. And I think everybody knows that. Like nobody really buys this. It's just like polite society in a way. People think that they're being compassionate and nice and all this sort of stuff, but I think they're doing more harm than good.
And part of it is about fear of losing your job if you don't refer to this person with the right, with their preferred pronouns.
Absolutely. And then it gets even weirder with like the zers and zays. You're just, what the hell? And then I'm the a-hole that doesn't know, so, whatever, dude. You're an it. It's fine. Don't get mad at me. Leave me alone.
But nobody...
you don't have to buy into their delusions,
Hardly anybody gave it a pushback. For fear of just that, for fear of being ostracized and being, you're no longer cool. You're not in the club. We're all, trans.
Or lose your job, your livelihood. I mean, I just go back to the Black Square days of 2020 when people were just as fast as they could hashtag, Blackout Tuesday or whatever it was. It's like, what is going on? What are people so afraid of? And then, and then I got fired. And so I understood the fear, why people were so afraid.
But But I don't know. The old adage that if you repeat something often enough, it becomes true, something like that. And I think that these people, I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I think they're highly suggestible. They may be a bit gullible.
Yeah.
And they think they're doing the right thing because if they do this, it won't make someone else sad.
Yeah, they really do think that they're doing the right thing. It's just virtue signaling. And I feel like if you were to talk to any of these people in private, like they'd be like, yeah. Because then you go, can this woman get pregnant? And they go, well, no. Oh,
Yeah,
why do you emphatically say no? Oh, because genetics do matter. Oh, okay. So it unravels real quickly once you start asking just a few questions. So
I don't know that it's going to be a complete 180 before and after with Trump in office, but I do think that people will feel more emboldened to refuse to go along with it. They won't fear losing their job anymore because they won't call a ninth grade boy Evelyn. I think.
Yeah, Trump's the outcome of the election was a resounding yes to exactly that feeling of the American public.
Yeah.
They were over it. We're just over it. Like none of this. Because it's crazy. Because then you start to question yourself. You're like, am I crazy? Like, what is a woman? Is it kind of this transient state? And then you're like, no, Anna, idiots.
Right.
Of course not.
Resist.
Yeah. But when everyone around you is going along with it, you really start to doubt yourself.
Right. You won't be invited to the parties anymore.
Yeah.
Anna Hummel, thank you very much for working today. I appreciate it.
Oh, it was great. Oh, we're out of time. Look at that.
Yeah, we are. This time it's for real.
It's time for real. Yeah. Thank you, Justin and Jim, for your help today. Really appreciate it.
You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. And to the audience, 1210 WPHT, and to Kayal and Company for giving us the opportunity.
Yes. Thank you
And
all. Thank you,
Greg
Shannon.
Stalker.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to me as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning.